Family, what's going on? It is Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. I appreciate y'all being here. Today is Saturday, November 22nd. This is the watch along for Alabama taking on Eastern Illinois. I appreciate you guys so much. Please get inside the comment box. Let me know where you are watching from. I'm watching the game with you today. It is on ESPN Plus. So how I am watching the game, because I know a lot of you are probably having questions about how to watch the actual game. This is exactly what I am doing. And for the last couple of weeks, it's been nice to honestly have just an antenna to worry about, right? It's kind of like the old days. You turn on the TV, just turn it to channel 7 or whatever, and boom, you got the game. So today is a little bit different. It is on ESPN Plus. So I have the ESPN app. So what I did, and I'll walk you through it, about 10, 15 minutes before kickoff at Bryant-Denny Stadium, what I did was I went to my TV on YouTube, and I looked for SEC Network. For me, I couldn't have SEC Network. It's showing the Georgia game. So then I went to the app. I opened up the ESPN app, and I literally just searched Alabama. So I have it on the ESPN app on my TV, and at 1 p.m. it says that the broadcast will start. So I'm with you in that same boat, and we will if you have any questions, let me know, and we will cover the game. A couple injuries to go over before we start the broadcast, and if you're here on the watch along, you know how this works. We'll update the scores, we'll point out things as they go forward in terms of stats, scores, live play-by-play commentary with yours truly. By the way, thank you so much for being here on my birthday. So turned 42, blessed to see 42, and led the guys with workouts this morning, went to see my daughter perform this morning, just a snippet of her show. As you know, she's been cast in Annie as Pepper. So I was started out the day. It's been a really full day, and I always start out with a lot of gratitude, right? You got to be able to just kind of absorb where you're at in life and have a lot to be grateful for. So today, the outcome that we are looking for. And we are looking for not necessarily a bounce back game against Eastern Illinois, but I want to still see a complete game, whether that's by the starters, whether that's by the guys that do have opportunities to come into this game. And there's a couple storylines to notate in terms of the injury report. So 3 guys will not be playing today for Alabama. And the first is Parker Brailsford. As I mentioned to you this week, I kind of knew something was up. I saw that he had a boot on his foot, and then kind of noticed that he wasn't on the injury report or anything like that. And you didn't get a student availability report this week because Eastern Illinois is not in the SEC. But Parker Brailsford is not playing. And I think he'll be fine for Auburn, but you're holding him out with like a foot. The second player is Jeremy Bernard. So you're not going to have Jeremy Bernard play. And again, Coach Kalen DeBoer even said on the pregame that he will be available against Auburn. Okay. Now, I have to tell you that Josh Cuevas, I'm a little bit concerned. Okay. He suffered a foot injury, I guess, at practice. And we don't really have a timetable right now on Josh Cuevas. So does that mean that, he's out for Auburn? No. I think it just means exactly what Coach Kalen DeBoer said. He said that there is a timetable. And Brolo, inside the comment box, or Borrowland, rather, the game will be streamed on ESPN Network. This will be a watch-along. We're not allowed to actually stream the game here for copyright purposes. But how we are this will be a full, live watch-along. And I'll tell you everything that happens. I'll give you my best kind of play-by-play. But if you want to watch the actual game with us, it's on ESPN Plus. So download the app. I think Sling has like a $1 option. I think, even for me, I have YouTube TV and I wasn't able to find it. So, hey, Joe Meadows, thank you so much for becoming a level 1 fan funder. I appreciate it. And Max Tooney is saying broken foot. I haven't heard that. Is that out there, a broken foot? I did not hear that, and that is regarding Josh Cuevas. Again, and I don't like to go off injuries unless I know 100%. So maybe that's out there, but until we hear it from Coach Kalen DeBoer, I'm not going to, speculate on that. I'm just going off of what Coach Kalen DeBoer said on the pregame, and that Josh Cuevas, kind of the timetable is uncertain. So, and I think that is concerning because Josh Cuevas is a baller. is 100% a baller. Hey, Barrowland, no problem, man. Let us know if you need anything else inside the comment box. And thank you very much for being here. And thank you to everybody else joining us on the watch along. You all know how it works. Watch the game together, make observations. But Josh Cuevas, that's concerning. And I think why it's concerning, if he's not healthy or if he has a bigger injury, is because that tight end room, they don't have a lot of veterans in that spot. Okay, Caleb Edwards will play today. He's a freshman. I would imagine that Marshall Pritchett plays today as well. He's another freshman. Those guys are capable. But right now, Josh Cuevas, I'd probably say he's one of the top 3 wide receivers on this team, top 4, right? Journey Bernard, Isaiah Horton, Josh Cuevas, Lazier Brooks, Ryan Williams. Those are the guys, right? So that'll be something that Coach Kalen DeBoer is asked about, I'm sure, after the game. So if you're wondering about Josh Cuevas, he will not be playing today. And it's kind of, who else can get opportunities today? Another account, number 14, thank you so much for becoming a fan funder. I really appreciate it. That means a lot to us that you're supporting Bama football on YouTube. And coming up here at 1 p.m. will be Alabama taking on Eastern Illinois. Let's take a look at the national scoreboard real quick and kind of see what other games are going on. I have to be honest, that it's not the most exciting college football weekend. There are some games taking place, but in terms of like a big weekend of college football, we got a couple games on the list, but a lot of teams are kind of playing these type of games that Alabama's playing. But let's check out the top 25 while we wait for the Tide and Eastern Illinois to kick off, which should be 1 p.m., 1:05. Sometimes these games are a little bit later, okay? So you have Ohio State, who is beating Rutgers right now by a score of 14-3. And look, you know how I feel about the top tier teams. Like Ohio State, good team, number 1 on everybody's slate. But I do feel that they're not playing that same level of competition on a weekly basis that you're seeing in the SEC. And I get it. I fully understand who Alabama is playing today in Eastern Illinois. But when you played UCLA last week in Rutgers, it gives you opportunities to stay fresh and to get style points, which is clearly what the playoff committee wants, right? Does the playoff committee want style points? Yes or no inside the comment box? I would say 100%. Okay, you have Texas A&M, who is beating Samford. A lot of the SEC teams are playing games like this today. Last week they were trailing 30-3 at halftime. So Texas A&M is doing their thing against Samford, who is 1-10 on the season. I've been watching this game. This game was interesting. For a while, it was 3-0. Missouri was leading Oklahoma. Oklahoma threw a touchdown, Matera crossing route, which went for like 80 yards. It was 7-3 and then 14-3, and it looks like Missouri has kicked a field goal to make that a 14-6 game, I guess, at halftime. So we'll monitor that game as well. You have Miami, who is beating Virginia Tech by a score of 20-3. And as the committee said, all Miami has to do is continue to win out, right? And good things will happen to them. They're on the verge of kind of a 10-2 type season, and obviously they wouldn't play in the ACC championship game depending on how things are working for the ACC. You have Georgia, who is playing Charlotte today. That score is 28-0. And I do have to say, Gunnar Stockton has been on absolute fire. Today he was 13 of 15, 135 yards passing through the air. Coming up at 1 p.m. on SEC Plus, you have Eastern Illinois taking on the Crimson Tide, where the Tide is favored by 50. I didn't even see a line on this game early on the week. Usually Jarvis inside the comment box is our straight, baller. And in terms of, the odds, and I didn't see the odds on this. 50 points today. Wow, that's crazy. Okay, you have USC. This is probably our bigger game, right? You have USC taking on Oregon today. I guess we're pulling for USC. We're hoping that Oregon maybe takes a step backwards in kind of the college football rankings. And I guess we're Syracuse fans as well, right? Notre Dame has such a light back-end schedule that, they should be able to cruise out to 10-2. I think after this week they play Stanford, right? Coming up at 1 p.m., Alabama taking on Eastern Illinois. We'll go to that with our play-by-play broadcast in just a second. Let me run through a couple of these games that are taking place across the nation. You also have, let's see, it kind of updated on my end. I'm doing the same thing as you, fam, in terms of Alabama for the app. So for my experience right now, I'm going to tell you exactly what happened. So I'm on the app, and I'm searching for Alabama right now as we speak. and let's see what populates. Because this experience for me has been a little bit different. I mean, yeah, I had the YouTube TV, and then everything went with that. I went to the antenna, which was great, and now I'm on ESPN Plus. So still kind of a mess. Kentucky taking on Vanderbilt. That game kicks off at 2:30. Texas will be hosting Arkansas at 2:30 on ABC. 2:45, Tulane will be taking on Temple. And then a couple afternoon games to go over. Kansas State taking on Utah. Michigan taking on Maryland. See what I'm saying? It's kind of a sleepy weekend. You know, if you have that friend who's like getting married at some point in time, this would be, I guess, the weekend to do it. By the way, the weather is beautiful. 75 degrees right here in beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Pittsburgh takes on Georgia Tech. And let's see, we got Tennessee taking on Florida. I guess that's moderately interesting. Wisconsin taking on Illinois. This game, look, we're rooting for Cincinnati tonight, okay? Because I think that, you know, BYU, depending on what happens with BYU, that could be another team that is compared to Alabama. And Jimmy Montana says the game is on Hulu. I think the game might be on Sling as well, right? So this is a watch along. As you know what happens. And I'll show you the live game stats. We'll do commentary right here and point out things that happen on Bama Football on YouTube. So watch the game with us. And if you have questions inside the comment box about how to watch the game, post them, and somebody from the Undefeated will help you out. I'm watching it personally on ESPN Plus, which is the ESPN app. Tonight, Arizona State will take on Colorado. You know, fam, I have to bring this up. You know who lost last night, right? Did everybody see who lost last night? And that was Florida State lost to North Carolina State. So I know that loss looks even worse now. Every single time Florida State loses a football game, okay, it looks worse and worse on Alabama's overall resume. It really does. I mean, that's just the facts. And that is something that the playoff committee has pointed out time and time again over the last couple of weeks, and more so this last Tuesday, as they said that loss looked really bad for Alabama. And I get it. You know what? Like, Alabama has 2 losses on the season. And I feel that first loss, they got outplayed. They got out coached. Austin Cortez, watch the game on ESPN Plus, bro. That's where I'm watching the game. If you have YouTube TV, the ESPN Plus app is free, Bam Michelle says. Okay. So like J-Mac is saying inside the comment box, and still I'm watching on ESPN Plus. My broadcast has not started yet. We're 2 minutes out. The loss looks worse and worse. So let me ask you this, honestly, and just be honest with me. You're an Alabama fan, right? If you're a casual college football fan, you're just kicking with us. For me, the Oklahoma loss, Alabama beat itself, right? You agree with that? I think Oklahoma is a good football team, but I think Oklahoma clearly took advantage of the turnovers, and Alabama had self-inflicted wounds that led to them losing the game, okay? I feel against Florida State, that game, Florida State beat Alabama, like straight up. At that point in time, Florida State looked like a good football team. But I feel like, with that said, as Florida State had a crash out, it is painted Florida State football as a whole as not a good football team. But, man, at that time, they were a good football team. They were even ranked 6th, so they had everybody fooled. And now that loss that they finished out the season 5-6, I think it has greatly impacted Alabama's playoff resume. The playoff college football system, as you know, we're still waiting for the app to load right here before our play-by-play, is completely broken. And I will get to this later on my shows during the week, but what's happening right now with Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin, I think it could be kind of a landmark situation for college football. The Ole Miss team, I feel, I promise you, will be penalized if Lane Kiffin does and when he does take that job with LSU. Think about the fallout when Lane Kiffin takes that job. You see, and we're still waiting for the game to reload right here at 1 p.m., which is 1 p.m. Central Time right now, so I don't know what's going to happen with this app. I'm as curious as you are. But if Lane Kiffin leaves, you think everybody's going to stay at Ole Miss? I would imagine players follow him. And is Ole Miss the same team if they finish out 11-1 without him coaching? You see what I'm saying? Wouldn't it be shocking if LSU or if Ole Miss finishes out 11-1 and they don't make the playoffs? You know what I'm saying? That would be absolutely crazy. I mean, it would work out probably well for Alabama. And my app is live right now. So I'm loading the app. It's on my TV. And, yeah, it is live right now on the ESPN app, and that is where I'm watching Alabama and Eastern Illinois. So if you want to watch the game with us, I'll give you live play-by-play commentary. And I would imagine that maybe I might be a little bit delayed because I am watching the app, but we'll take it as it comes. We'll point out observations, and I'll give you my best effort as I always do. Thank you so much for kicking it right here on Bama Football on YouTube. So Robert is saying, where can you watch the Alabama game at? Good question. That's what everybody is asking. So Robert, how I am watching the game, I pulled up the ESPN app. I typed in Alabama, and it popped up. And then I'm able to broadcast it on my TV. So it's on ESPN Plus, and I'm sure a lot of people are like, where's the actual game? That's how to find it. I think someone said that Hulu is also streaming the game, and then on Sling. Some of these games that like are not SEC, they put them on some of these lower tier channels, and today that's where we have Alabama at. So if you have questions about how to watch or whatever, just post it inside the comment box. No stress. I'm not going to stress about that, and I will give you a play-by-play commentary throughout the game. But I got to turn on this ceiling fan because I'm telling you, it is hot. Hot, hot, hot in here. Be right back in 2 seconds. And like you'll see, I don't take a lot of time out. I take none, really. I'll go throughout the entire game. So as I mentioned earlier, the three factors that we're watching the game in terms of injuries, Josh Cuevas, Jeremy Bernard, and Parker Brailsford to not be out. And will you please help Casey Cox out in terms of how to watch the game? I'll say it one more time before we actually kick off. Casey, this is for you, bro. Turn on the TV and go to your ESPN app if you have the ESPN app. And then type in Alabama, and that's how it came up for me. You can also watch on Hulu, and I think you can watch on Sling. Okay? Yeah, and I mean, the spread is 50 or whatever. And Rex Green says, I actually found somebody showing it on YouTube. So, do what you got to do, and let me know if you have any questions. But we're about to kick off here from Bryant-Denny Stadium. Alabama has just kicked off when we are underway at Bryant-Denny Stadium. Eastern Illinois, it'll be a touchback, and here we come out with the Alabama Crimson Tide. Again, Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. Thanks for watching. Eastern Illinois will get the ball to start out. North Alabama Storm Chase. What's up, bro? I appreciate you being here. Joe Crooms is inside the comment box. Unknown Currency as well. Rex Green. We have Naomi. We have Young C. What's up, everybody? Good to see you. What is everybody's score prediction? And who scores first? Here comes Eastern Illinois. This will be the first play of the ball game. Eastern Illinois will start at the 25-yard line. Does anybody know their mascot? That's your trivia question for this morning. So when I say Panthers, that's who I'm referring to. Handoff up the middle, and it goes absolutely nowhere. It's going to be a 2nd and 11 for the Panthers. Crimson Angel has it 70. You know what? I really feel that Alabama needs style points today. Todd, what's up, man? Good to see you. Does Alabama need style points? Yes or no? I would say they need to run the score up. It has nothing to do with Eastern Illinois. It's a faceless opponent, but you need all the style points. 2nd and 10, 2nd and 11 for Eastern Illinois. Shotgun formation. Back to pass. Alabama's going to get to the backfield easily. It's going to be like 3 guys that sack the Panthers, headlined by Tim Keenan. NorCal MAGA, what's up? Tim Keenan gets to the quarterback. Oh, my goodness. They completely just ran right through the offense. This is going to be nasty. And it is a 3rd and 15 for Eastern Illinois. Oof. Man, it was like Eastern Illinois didn't even have an offensive line. Yeah, I think this will be whatever Alabama wants the score to be, that'll be the score. 3rd and 15. Let's see that third down defense. Deontay Lawson at inside linebacker. Man, he's been playing fantastic. Here's a snap to the outside. It's going to be maybe a pickup of, wow. They're going to get the first down. Oh, my goodness. Eastern Illinois just picked up the first down on Bama, picking up a run by 17 yards. It was a simple handoff out of shotgun formation. The guy came in, made a couple guys miss, and kept on pushing the pile, and Eastern Illinois picks up a 15-yard third down conversion, picking up 17 yards. Oof. Yo, that is not it. First down for the Panthers. Well, I never expect that would happen. Trips right for the Panthers. Back to pass. He's got time to throw. He throws it, and it's complete. It's going to be intercepted. Intercepted by Dejoun Lee. Wow. It was a rollout pass to the right. The guy had the pass. It was kind of on his helmet, and Dejoun Lee made this incredible catch, kind of like scooped it off the guy's helmet. You had to see it. So Dejoun Lee, with his second interception of the season on a rollout pass that was right to the receiver, he just dropped it. Dejoun Lee scooped it, caught it. Wow, that was crazy. What an interception by Dejoun Lee. That's going to be the first turnover of the game and the second, I believe, interception by Dejoun Lee this season. Crimson Tide in really good scoring position. Yeah, type in mustard inside the comment box. Tide under center, headlined by quarterback Ty Simpson. Under center, which is interesting. You have a new center today, which is Gino Vandermark, in place for the injured Parker Brailsford. Run for Jam Miller goes for 1 yard. Now, I honestly feel that you have to keep running the ball today. I felt that the seating committee told Alabama that running the ball is part of their criteria. I think they have to establish a run today. It is 2nd and 9. Ty Simpson is in shotgun formation. He has a running back to the left of him. Here's a snap. It's a handoff to Jam Miller. Jam Miller gets to the outside, hits a man, and he is going to pick up 7 yards. 3rd and 2 for the Tide. You know, this year, Alabama has had just one running back eclipse the 100-yard mark, which was Jam Miller way back against Vanderbilt. But since then, it's been tough sledding for Alabama's running game, right? I think it kind of tailed off since that Missouri game, and that was one of the things that the committee pointed out was like Alabama's a one-dimensional team. 3rd and 3, they call it. Trips left for Ty Simpson. It's going to be Isaiah Horton, rather, and Ryan Williams down to the left. Running back is Jam Miller. Here's a snap. Handoff up the middle, and Bama's stuffed. Alabama does not get the first down trying to run the ball with Jam Miller, and they are facing a 4th and 1. 4th and 1 for the Tide. They cannot get that. Like, things like this, I'm telling you, are going to hurt Alabama. It's 4th and 1. They have to go for it. Got to be able to pick something like that up. Someone notes that Grubb is on the sideline. I didn't know that. Ty Simpson back to pass, and it's going to be completed with ease to Isaiah Horton for a first down. There's a flag on the play. Let's see what the flag is. Man, that was crazy. You can't pick up a first down running the ball. It was an offsides penalty on the Panthers. It's going to be a first down for the Tide. Ty Simpson with a new snap, with a new center today, which is Gino Vandermark. Pass was completed to Isaiah Horton for, let's call it 14. 2 running backs in the backfield. Alabama at the 25-yard line moving in. Ty Simpson, shotgun formation. Back to pass. Here comes the blitz. It's picked up nicely by the running backs. Nice pass over the middle, which is completed to Isaiah Horton, who makes his second catch of the day. First down for the Tide. Now inside the 10-yard line for the Tide. Who do you think scores the first touchdown, fam? Daniel Hill checks into the game at running back. Daniel Hill in the backfield next to Ty Simpson. Shotgun formation. Handoff is going to be to Daniel Hill, who runs right up the middle and is going to get to about the 1-yard line. Let's call it a gain of, 6? Hey, John, what's up, man? I'm watching it on the ESPN app. So I went to the ESPN app. It wasn't on my YouTube TV because it's on the ESPN app. So that is Daniel Hill. Jonathan, what's up, dog? Good to see you, bro. Jonathan, are you saying Daniel Hill? It's got to be Daniel Hill. It's 3rd and goal from the 1. It's got to be Daniel, man. Daniel has 4 touchdowns on the year. Jam Miller has 2. It's 3rd and 1 for the Tide. Let's see what the play is. Ty Simpson under center. The running back is actually Jam Miller. Let's see what the call is. He better just run the ball right up the middle. All right, touchdown, Alabama. It is a 1-yard touchdown run by Jam Miller. Okay, the drive is 8 plays, 46 yards. We will update the scoreboard in just a second. And the Tide have taken the lead over Eastern Illinois. 7-0. Type in Jam Miller inside the comment box. And I think Jam, he's been one of those running backs. People are like, yo, is it him? Is he the issue with Alabama running the football? But he scores right there. The drive was 8 plays, 46 yards, capped off by a 1-yard touchdown. And people calling for the starters to be taken out. 7-0 Alabama. Update the scoreboard in just a second. Touchdown Tide, and Alabama leads right now by a score of 7-0. I think what stands out for me on that particular drive is maybe the fact that we do have a new center, which we knew, right? Parker Brailsford out. You also have a new receiver in, which is Isaiah Horton. I know he starts, right? But I feel that you saw some good things from Isaiah Horton, and I'm glad to see it because, Isaiah Horton, and do you guys agree with me inside the comment box that Isaiah Horton needs to be utilized more? And so far, he has 2 receptions for 29 yards. But I really feel that he's a player that, he showed some good things this year. I just feel that sometimes they don't utilize him enough. So Horton so far, 2 catches for 29 yards. Ty Simpson on that drive, 2 of 3, 29 yards. And Jam Miller, 4 attempts, 10 yards, and he scores a touchdown. So Alabama up right now by a score of 7-0 off Eastern Illinois. And kind of to get to this point, you had a nice interception by Dejon Lee. It was the weirdest play, right, fam? Like, the pass was thrown, pretty good ball. The receiver didn't catch it, and the ball kind of floated around the guy's helmet, and Dejon Lee kind of just scooped it. But what was concerning on that first drive, fam, okay, I know we point things out, all right? Oh, but Eastern Illinois was facing a 3rd and 15, okay? And they picked it up by running the ball for 17 yards. Okay, so that's not it. But, we nitpick stuff. But I will say this. Alabama's run defense has gotten significantly better this year. And that was something that really made me – we're on TV timeout, by the way. And that's something that's a little bit frustrating for me right now is listening to the seating committee talk about Alabama and the fact that they can't run the ball. Okay. Yeah, we fully understand that, right? We fully understand that Alabama, hasn't been able to run the ball. But why is their defense not being highlighted? Right? Oh, I need to update that final. That was from the last game. I better change that before the seating committee sees it. Why is the fact that the team is ranked 12th in the nation throwing the ball, why is that not highlighted? And I've already said, look, I'm not going to get into a negative space because it's my birthday, right? But, I still feel, I don't want to go here, but I still feel that Ty Simpson's being done wrong by a lot of people, okay? You know me, fam. If it's time to, attack somebody or call it out, it's supposed to be called out, I'll do it. But, Ty's he's being robbed, I'm telling you, by a lot of the national media. Dirt Bike, what's up, bro? The TV broadcast that I'm watching is on the ESPN app. And I know a lot of people are saying it's just on YouTube or, I think Hulu. But I literally just downloaded the app and I'm watching it. So Timothy points out Ohio State had 2 losses last year before they went on a run. Love that. Good stat. And that's kind of the world that we have to live in, right, Timothy, is the understanding that you're going to take someone on the chin and you have to be able to deliver. And Alabama still controls its own destiny if they win this game and if they beat Auburn, right? So, Todd, what's up, man? Says, Kyle, always keeping us updated. Yeah, thank you so much, bro. Kino, what's up, Kyle? If I don't get a birthday shout out, this will be a long game. Is it your birthday too, dog? Yo, Kino, tell me, are we birthday twins, bro? Byron Russell, what's up, man? Good to see you. And yeah, you too, Gordo. We're back on commercial, and I promise you, I don't take breaks. All right. Let's see, Kino, it's your birthday, dog. Let me know. And Gordo is saying, why is Connor Tauti allowed to step on the field? You know what's crazy? One of the things I was asking is, would we see the backup kicker today? And I'm like dead serious. You know how we're like, let's see Keelan Russell, let's see Austin Mack. I was like, yo, we going to see Peter Nataro roll through? Oh, man, I don't know. So maybe we'll see. But right now it's 7-0 in the first. I had final down at the bottom. Thank God someone pointed it out. That could have got screenshotted and sent it to Hunter Yurachek, the committee chair. Hey, true or false? Does it seem like Hunter Yurachek kind of like he didn't like Alabama? It sounds to me like he was salty about the Tide. Still on commercial, fam. I promise you, when we go back to play-by-play, it's just there. I would probably say the commercials on ABC are probably as equal to what we're seeing right here on SEC Plus. Cody's asking my score prediction. Oh, like I think I went with 63-0, right? Crimson Angel inside the comment box is like, Kyle, why do you feel Brooks and Lottie Brooks is better than Ryan Williams at this moment? Brooks is an amazing 3-star. Williams needs to show up, Kyle. I like Williams, but the teams need him to show up more. Yeah, I would certainly say that in terms of like the top receivers right now, I would say Jerry Bernard, number 1, Lazier Brooks, 2, Isaiah Horton, 3, interchangeable. Josh Cuevas is probably my 4th wide receiver, right? And then Ryan Williams. Right? I mean, he came up with, a couple catches last game, big 38-yard catch. So I've never been a player to, like, sell on Ryan. And he's a one big play away from making it happen. But, he hasn't had the best season, straight up. But that doesn't mean that he doesn't have playmaking ability. You know what I'm saying? We got a super chat in here from my boy Robert, man. What's up? He says, happy birthday, Kyle. Much love to you from Daytona Beach for a non-stressful Bama football weekend. Hell yeah, dog. Right? And if you're if you're old enough, responsible enough, later on this afternoon, maybe we have a little old-fashioned if the mood should strike or something like that. I don't know. We'll see how we're feeling. But here we are. Alabama has kicked off, and this will be Eastern Illinois' second opportunity. And it's probably easy for me to say on the broadcast Panthers. So that is, the Panthers. When I say Panthers, you know who they're playing. Timothy says Ryan Williams on that NCAA football logo curse. Yo, you know what? Maybe. And if you played the video game, I play the video game every once in a while. I don't have time to play video games, but when I do, they must have messed with his catching stats because he drops passes. All right, Eastern Illinois will start at the 10? And Red Morgan in with the big hit. That guy's such a dog, man. That guy's so good. All right, Panthers, actually, they're at like the 13. Pistol formation, quarterback's going to take it. He gets up the middle, and you got Bray Hubbard all over the place. Bray Hubbard and Quay Rusa. Hey, Quay Rusa in action with an assisted tackle. Can we type in 4? In M3 miles per hour says, I'm hearing Lane Kiffin to LSU. Yeah, it looks like that's going to be the case. Announced next Saturday, right? And if he takes that job, he gets $25 million in salary money for players, which is crazy. Arnett and Neal not happy about Quay in there. I want to see maybe on a small rep count. Let's see how he does. All right, shotgun formation for the Panthers. Alabama's defense has been very active today. Very, very active in the backfield. Tim Keenan hits him. It's a fumble, and it goes into the end zone, almost a safety. Tim Keenan, you're not going to be able to block Tim Keenan, period. And it's going to be a 2nd and 22 from the 1-yard line. Oh, my goodness. That guy was holding Tim Keenan and everything. Tim Keenan with the monster hit. Man, I'm telling you, Tim Keenan has to be one of my favorite players on defense. You know, and I feel that the defense has been better with Tim Keenan since, you know, what did he miss, the first 3 games of the season? All right, Panthers literally at their own 1-yard line. They're in the end zone. It's a handoff. It goes nowhere. He's bottled up by Quay Rusaw, and they're going to have to punt facing a 4th and 21. 4th and 21, and they're going to punt. I would send punt block. You need style points in this game. 4th and 21 for the Panthers. Man, Tim Keenan's been eating this guy up. He'd probably have 5 sacks if he wanted to in this game. Here's the punt. Let's see what happens here. Oh, the punt block was on. Keeley almost got to it. Returning the punt will be Cole Adams. Cole Adams at the 50. Makes a man miss. He gets to the side, and he's going to get out about, the 38-yard line. So Cole Adams back returning punts. I know last game they kind of gave an experiment with Ryan Williams, and I know the fumble, and people were upset about that. And that fumble did cost them. It did. You know, sometimes turnovers won't affect you that much, but that fumble was costly, okay? We all know that. So very, very aware. It is 7-0. 7:32 left. Alabama is at the 38-yard line. Ty Simpson, shotgun formation. You got Rico Scott in motion. Here's a snap from Geno Vandermark. Ty Simpson hands off to, looks like Kevin Riley, and Riley gets about 8 yards. We're wondering where Kevin Riley has been. Man, it's good to see Kevin Riley back, right? And Wilcom Formby is now at right guard. Man, they love Wilcom Formby to kind of rotate him, right? From tackle to guard. 2nd and 2. Tight ends are 2 freshmen. Marshall Pritchett and Caleb Edwards, and then 2 wide receivers, Williams and Horton. Running back is Riley. Makes a man miss. Man, why is Riley not playing more? Right? And number 28. So sometimes it can be a little bit confusing if you're watching the broadcast because Riley is 28 and Jam is 26. The numbers look similar, right? But yes or no inside the comment box? And that was a 5-yard gain, okay? Riley right now has 3 carries for 20 yards. 3 for 20. That's an average of 6-7. Let me listen up inside the comment box. Does Kevin Riley look like he has the fastest first step as a running back? He does to me. Another little handoff to Kevin Riley. Makes a couple guys miss and picks up another gain of 6. Hey, M3, you're probably going to have to do you might have to search on YouTube. You didn't hear that here, but just maybe search around. It is 2nd and 4 for the Tide. Right, Dirt Bike? He's talking about Kevin Riley. All right, 2nd and 4 for the Tide. Pistol formation for Alabama. Daniel Hill now in at running back. You got Rico Scott out there. Looks with Isaiah Horton, I think. Fake handoff, and it's a design play to Isaiah Horton. That's to Rico Scott, my bad. Yo, Rico Scott is so fast. I'm really surprised that Rico Scott hasn't had more of an impact this year. Oh, they did M3? All right. 1st and goal for the Tide. That was to Rico Scott, by the way. A gain of 11. Man, he's fast. Pistol formation again for the Tide. Daniel Hill is the running back. And just give it to Daniel Hill. And that's what they're going to do right up the middle. He literally walks in. Daniel Hill into the end zone. And the Tide scores its 2nd touchdown. Type in 4 inside the comment box. Fans don't look that enthused. Oh, my goodness. Come on, fans. 14-0 after a Daniel Hill touchdown. It was a 5-play, 38-yard drive as Alabama kind of just marches down the field with ease, and they get into the end zone off a Daniel Hill touchdown. So good to see 2 touchdowns by the running backs. Hopefully that helps the seeding, playoff committee, who said that Alabama has to run the ball better this particular game. Little handoff just to Daniel Hill. Yo, Daniel Hill's nice, man. I'm happy for him. You look at the running backs for Alabama, Jam Miller, Daniel Hill, Kevin Riley. Each of those guys have had opportunities in this game. I'll show you the stats in just 1 second. Multitasking. Here's a look at the stat box real quick, and we're still in the first quarter. But you look to, the hottest topic in all of college football is Alabama's lack of running game. And so far right here, we have 3 running backs that we've had a sample size of today against the Panthers. And you have Kevin Riley, who's come in really quick step, right? 3 attempts, 20 yards, 6.7. And each of these running backs, I feel, is different, has different characteristics, right? Like Kevin Riley is clearly, out of 3 backs, the fastest step. He's not the heaviest, but he's kind of that scat back. You have Daniel Hill, who's like a big bruiser. He has 2 for 14, including a touchdown, longest of 7. And you have Jam Miller, who I think is an all-purpose back. He has 4 for 10. The averages over here to the right, 6'7". 6'7", 6'7". I have no idea what that even means. Seriously, I have teenagers, and I don't even know if they know what that means. No idea. And Crimson Angel points out that Mercer is tied with Auburn. Oh, my God. And you know what? It doesn't matter. It really doesn't, because Mercer could beat Auburn, for all I'm concerned. And it still doesn't. That game will still be close. Oh, my God. Look at this. This is crazy. So in other news, look at this. 7-7. Could you imagine if Alabama was tied with Eastern Illinois, 7-7, right? Man, these guys. It doesn't matter. Mercer could win this game, like I said, and it will still be a close game next week. Maybe Bama will just run them out next week. I know I want to talk about the game too, but I have to focus on the present. It's 14-0 over here. Alabama up on Eastern Illinois. 2 touchdowns by the running backs, Jam Miller, Daniel Hill. All right, and you had a turnover, which was by Dejon Lee. Man, we all knew it was going to be a game like this, but, we got to cover the game. You have to play a complete game still. And I think in a game like Bama's playing right now, clearly we know that they're being watched under a microscope. Every single thing will be brought up, right? So we got 2. We'll type in 2 running back TDs and a Dejon Lee INT. All right, so this will be the Panthers' 3rd offensive possession, and we still have a lot of time in this game in the first quarter. Wow, I didn't know Mike Shanahan was a quarterback at Eastern Illinois. Also, Sean Payton. Yo, they've had some quarterbacks, right? Tony Romo. Wow, Mike Shanahan, Tony Romo, I think Jimmy Garoppolo, right? Man, yo, Eastern Illinois is like low-key, like pumped out some quarterbacks. That's wild. Man, Jimmy Garoppolo with the Niners, he was cooking there for a little while. All right, Panthers come out. It is 4:50 to go. We'll take the Auburn scoreboard off. I just think it's hilarious that those guys are trailing. It's going to be a handoff. It kind of pops to the outside, and Alabama's going to bottle it up. It's going to be a 2nd and 8. They could really score whatever they wanted in this game. And I wouldn't hold back. I think you got to win this game by a gajillion points. Is it really 13-7? That Auburn game? We might have to put that score back on the screen. Second and 10 for the Panthers. We'll put the Auburn score on too. Little handoff to the outside. It goes absolutely nowhere. And Oklahoma is up on Missouri by a score of, 17-6? Okay, that's fine. Wow. Auburn, this is crazy. Yes, Auburn is losing right now. This is crazy. Auburn is losing to Mercer. Oh, my goodness. That is crazy. 3rd and 10 here at Bryant-Denny Stadium. Alabama's defense has literally been pretty much lights out, besides that first 3rd and 15 that they allowed. Back to pass, they try a screen. It's almost intercepted by, who was that? Is that Caden Jones? And they're going to punt. So 3:25, and this will be, Mercer's second punt of the game. Yeah, this is going to get ugly. And we better see, like I said, I wasn't trying to cause rat poison or anything. It's you better see another quarterback play in this game. The punt is blocked, and the Panthers are going to fall on it, but Alabama's going to have the ball at the 10-yard line. And we have Patriot Life. Patriot Life, what's up, dog, with the super chat? He's saying, hope you have a great day, brother. Thanks for all you do. Oh, I love you, man. Thank you so much, Patriot Life. And the punt was blocked by Keon Keeley. He almost blocked the first punt, right? Blocked punt by Keon. Can we type in 31 for Keon Keeley? Yo, this is a good story with Keon Keeley, man. This guy has had, I think it's taken Keon Keeley a little bit of time to get onto the field. And sometimes you get impatient with guys who, can't play fast enough. But I love his game. He plays fast. He's tough. He'll be a hell of a starter next year for the Tide. Ty Simpson back into action. You got, they're at the 12. Back to pass. He dumps it off, and he's completely overthrows Jam Miller. Maybe that was a missed assignment or something. So it's 2nd and 10. I got my, by the way, I got my mom in town. She's going to be here, for Thanksgiving. And she's cooking up something downstairs. I'm not going to lie. It smells good. What is Mama Henderson's cooking? Man, your mom's cooking just smells better. All right. A.K. Deer in at running back. A.K., let's see what A.K. can do. It's a fake handoff. They throw it out to Lazier Brooks. He makes a man miss. There's going to be a penalty. I don't know. It might be a hold. Everyone's going to go crazy if A.K. scores. But A.K. Deer is in now at running back, already in the first quarter. And if you're tracking the Auburn Tigers, they are trailing 14-7 still to Mercer in the first quarter. It doesn't matter, right? Whatever the score will be in that game, I'm not going to fall for it. Maybe Mom's making meatloaf, right? Mom, the meatloaf. I never know what she's doing down there. You ever watch Wedding Crashers? All right. It is 2nd and 20. A.K. Deer is not at running back right now. It is Daniel Hill. Okay. But we did see a sighting. Trips formation for the Tide. Quick pitch, and it's thrown to the outside. Oh, that's A.K. Deer. My bad. He kind of bobbled the catch, but he came up with it. So it's going to be a 3rd down. 3rd and 17. Jarvis, what's up, dog? Good to see you, man. Jarvis has been my stats guy for a long time. He says, take Auburn cookies, put them in the Iron Bowl, and beat them by 5 years in a row. Happy birthday, Kyle. Thanks, dog. I appreciate it, man. A.K. Deer still in action. 3rd and 15. Simpson back to pass. He dumps it off to A.K. Deer again, and he gets to the 10-yard line. Okay, so they've gone to A.K. Deer twice throwing. Now he has 2 catches for 12 yards. Yeah, thanks, Colby. I appreciate it, man. That was A.K. Deer. So he's caught in the last 2 passes from Ty, and Alabama's going to face a 4th and 5. So they're going to come out and kick a field goal. This is Connor Tauti, all right? Connor Tauti to kick a field goal. It is a 28-yard attempt for Talty. The kick is up. And it is no good. Connor Talty has missed a 28-yard field goal. Wow. This guy. And fans are booing Connor Talty, fam. Crazy. He missed a 28-yard field goal. Unbelievable. This guy is now 11 for 18. I don't think you can play this guy again. 28-yard field goal. Oh, my goodness. Connor Talty misses a 28-yard field goal. I got to write that down. Yo, I think you got to take him out. I think you – do you think that you take Connor Talty out? Type Y inside the comment box if you think so. Oh, my goodness. This guy, man. And you know what? I'm going to tell you something that you're not going to like to hear, okay? This is going to hurt Alabama. I'm telling you. When the committee comes together and they talk, okay, and they see that Alabama's starting kicker is 11-17 because it's a three-phase game, right? Offense, defense, special teams. They're going to point out, they pointed out that Alabama can't run the football. I promise you that they will point out that Alabama doesn't have a good special teams game. I promise you. Do you agree with me on that point? Or do you think that's a little bit too much? I honestly feel that they'll point out Alabama is 11 of 17 on the year kicking field goals, and that is why Alabama isn't a complete team. I promise you. And I know this field goal doesn't matter in a game like this. Is it 11 of 18? Thanks, Jeff. 11 of 18. I knew it was something like that. Damn. That's crazy. Chip shots. And he's missed 2 chip shots. Maroon Panthers, like, they don't care about that. Maybe you're right. And I hope you're right, Maroon. But they certainly, I didn't think they had penalized the running game, and they did. I think you got to go with a different kicker. All right. Panthers back in action, and they're going to go nowhere, and they're going to have to punt again. Wow. And that's the end of the first quarter. We'll go over the stats from the first quarter. Just a little bit to talk about. I mean, you could be, Auburn and Mercer are now tied. Wow. So we'll come out of the break in the second quarter, and you'll have Mercer punting. Woof. Man, okay. So looking at the stats right here, let's see what we got to work with. Look, their offense hasn't done anything against Alabama other than pick up a first down. Ty Simpson, 5 of 7, 52 yards. I might even pull Ty right now. I'm telling you, like, don't risk anything with Ty. Take him out. Get some other guys opportunities. Kevin Riley, 3 of 20. My quick take on the 3 running backs. Kevin Riley, quickest first step. Daniel Hill, love him, in 10 yards to go to score a touchdown. Jam Miller, he scored a touchdown as well. Isaiah Horton has been the guy because, Jeremy Bernard is not playing today. So 2 receptions for 29 yards. They have utilized A.K. Deere in this game finally, and he caught 2 passes for 12 yards. Okay, and Rico Scott caught a pass that went for 11. The defense isn't going to allow a score today. They're not. I would be utterly shocked if these guys score on Bama. Shocked. Okay, look at the total yards in the first quarter. 96-10. Okay, they have 0 passing yards. There's nothing to even look at here. But I will say this. I think the biggest takeaway. Hey, Neil, what's up, man? This is specifically for you. Neil inside the comment box, 3548. How most of us are watching the game. I downloaded the ESPN app because it's on ESPN Plus. I think some people are watching on Hulu. I think some people are watching on Sling. But for me, I still have the app. And that's how I'm watching the game. A commercial break as we're going in the second quarter. But the biggest takeaway from that first quarter is probably the missed field goal. Like, that's really an issue. Like, that's a 28-yard field goal at home should be the least of your concerns in the entire world. Like, that's the last thing. I mean, okay, I might give him grace if he missed like a 42-yarder. Okay? I might be like, okay, 11 of 18, I hate that number. 42-yard field goal, okay, bro. You struggle from, 40 yards. But a 28-yarder, you know what? I was just saying this morning. Do you agree with this point? Do you feel that Alabama's struggles with the kicking game, specifically Talty, do you think that puts more pressure on Alabama's offense? I do. That means that Bama basically has to go the entire length to put in 6. And guess what? Talty's going to have these issues on the road. If he's having them here, he's going to have these issues on the road against Auburn. Lance wants to go to the women's soccer team. All right, so the Panthers about to punt to Bama. It's the start of the second quarter. It is fielded by Cole Adams. He's maybe going to get 7. And you guys agree with that, right? I was thinking about that. It just puts more pressure on Bama. This guy, I'm telling you, DeBoer's talking to Talty. They're showing a clip of it. I don't know what he's saying, but I would say you're done for the day. And look, for me, if you watch my broadcast before, if you watch my shows, I won't go after a player rarely. Not because it's like a student athlete. These guys are professional athletes to me. I just have played the game. So I know the difference between when, something is psyche or when you need to make a change. And for the most part, Coach Kalen DeBoer does a good job, but there are certain times where you just need to bench someone's ass 100%, and you got to bench this guy. Sometimes that's the right mindset, the right reset. I wouldn't put him out there again. All right, 2nd and 3 for the Tide after a 7-yard pickup by Jam. And it is going to be 2nd and 3 for the Crimson Tide. It's going to be a handoff to Jam Miller. He makes a couple guys miss, gets a block to the outside by Isaiah Horton. He's got a little bit to go, and he picks up 12. Okay. That looked good. Man, Mike in Austin asked inside the comment box, who's worse, Tyler Buckner or Talty? Man, Talty is probably one of the worst field goal kickers that I've covered here, period. So, big 12-yard gain for Jam Miller, and he has 7 rushes for 31 yards. Little handoff to Jam again, and he's going to get kind of stuffed up in the backfield. North Alabama Storm Chase is saying that Jam Miller dances a little bit too much. J-Mac, what's up, man? He's saying that Jam Miller can run against Little League. Okay. Crimson Angel points out that SMU is dominating Louisville 30-6. We'll go over the halftime scores across the nation at the halftime break. 2nd and 9. Ty Simpson, shotgun formation. Still got the starters in. He's back to pass, fires out to Kevin Riley. Riley gets the first down. Ty Simpson on the day so far through 2 quarters, 6 of 8, 60 yards. Man, I wish I could talk about more like positives, and keep it on like the positive tracks. But I'm telling you, man, this is it is like beyond frustrating. And what's scary is Connor Talty the best kicker that we got? That's terrifying. 1st and 10 for the Tide. It's going to be a timeout, which is called by the Panthers. All right. So inside the comment box, this is what you all are saying. Catherine is saying running up the middle doesn't work. Bama Boy is saying the play calling is bad in his opinion. What's up? BSK, or is that KTK Pry says call Pat McAfee. Talty will cost you the Auburn game. I'm telling you, bro, that's a huge problem. We have an excellent 3rd down play calling, but 1st and 2nd garbage. Bama Boy, you know what? I think this is I agree with you on this. On 3rd downs, it feels like, even on 4th down, I feel, and I know they didn't get that last 4th against Oklahoma, but collectively, I like Grubb on 3rd and 4th. But like that was such a good point, bro. I feel the same way. I was trying to say that. Michael Smith says, I just think the running back doesn't have good vision. Mike's calling for Keelan Russell. I guess you keep these guys in maybe till halftime or something like that. Capstone Farms, what's up, dog? He says this. He's like, you can't tell me there isn't a better kicker on campus. You know what? There's been stories that is like they held, tryouts. They literally might have to do this. I think the kicking game is in dire straits. Hey, Q, what's up, man? Good to see you. So right now the score is 14-0. And let's see what else we have around the nation. Some other scores. So Auburn and Mercer, still 14-14. We've got a shootout taking place at Jordan-Hare. Hopefully it's not like that next week. Georgia is beating up on Charlotte 35-3. These are just SEC games. And Oklahoma on top of Missouri 17-6. Texas A&M, doing work on Sanford. And you know what? I kind of think that sometimes, like even these scores, like they'll say that because A&M was up on Sanford like 31-0 at halftime, they'll get like bonus points for that, because I strongly feel that the committee wants a lot of style points, period. Oh, me for a kicker? Nah. I'd be like a wide receiver that doesn't play. I would be like underneath MG Cherwig, but I could play. I could catch, man. I'll show you my highlight tape. But MG Cherwig's I love that dude at wide receiver. All right, 1st and 10 for the Tide. Little handoff to the outside, and that is going to be to A.K. Deer. He's going to pick up 4 yards. It's good to say A.K. Deer in. I almost got tricked to thinking he would be playing last game. I read too much of the rat poison. Crimson Angel says Peter Nataro is suited up. I would imagine we see him. We have to. 2nd and 6. All right, let's get something on the board. One thing that this team doesn't do is crossing routes, like a quick slant, someone across the middle. They rarely run that. And I think this offense would flourish with a slant. Screen to the outside to a tight end. It's going to pick up the 1st down. And that is going to be to Brody Dalton. Do you guys agree with me on that? Would you like to see more crossing patterns? First and 10 for the Tide. 10:30 in the 2nd quarter. Alabama leads 14-0. Keno agrees. All right, Ty has 4 wide receivers. I think one includes a tight end, Lazier Brooks, in motion. Here comes the pressure. Ty Simpson completes a pass to Kevin Riley. Riley bounces off a couple, and he's going to end up at the 2-yard line. Kevin Riley makes a nice catch, turns it upfield, makes a man miss, kind of bounces off a couple defenders, and it's going to be a first and about 2 yards for the Tide. Tide line up in formation, and it's going to be a 1-yard touchdown run for the Tide. They go up 21-0 off a Kevin Riley touchdown. Now, the drive was 8 plays, 64 yards, and went 4 minutes and 48 seconds, capped off by a 1-yard touchdown run by Kevin Riley. Can we look? So in this game right now, you have 3 touchdowns all coming from running backs, right? We've seen 4 running backs play today. But you had Jam score a touchdown, you have Kevin Riley, and you had Daniel Hill score a touchdown. So 21-0. Connor Talty is coming to kick the extra point. He's getting booed. Wow. I have never seen a player, Jonathan, I'm doing a lot over here. Scoreboard, Facebook, talking. All right, and the PAT is good. Fans cheer as Connor Talty makes an extra point. Wow. Look, honestly, okay, you guys have watched a lot of Alabama football. Have you ever seen, I'm 1,000,000% serious, have you ever seen a player get booed? Who is the last Alabama player to get booed? Like, I'm 100% serious. I'm dead serious. Like, Talty is booed by Alabama fans as he comes on to kick a PAT. Wow. All right, I want to see this inside the comment box. Okay, so J24 says Milroe. Was Milroe booed? Honestly, I don't. What was he booed? I can't remember what game he was booed. I don't remember that, to be honest. Okay, so you guys are saying Milroe. I don't remember. What game was it? So Milroe was the last guy, and then was another player before that? In what game was Milroe booed? I swear I forgot about that. So 21-0, that's the good news. And we'll look at the stats and all that sort of stuff. So he was booed against Michigan. So I guess that was in for the bowl game. Was it the Citrus Bowl game? Yeah, I can't remember that. The good news is it's 21-0. The bad news is it looks like you have a kicking issue going on. Other than that, things that we've seen so far as they're on a timeout, you've had 4 running backs play in this game. Alabama right now has 4 rushers, 14 carries for 70 yards. Jam Miller has 7 for 31 and a touchdown. Kevin Riley has 4 for 21 and a touchdown. Daniel Hill has 2 for 14 and a touchdown. And A.K. Deere has 1 run for 4 yards. The average for Alabama running against Eastern Illinois is 5 yards per carry. Eastern Illinois has no offense whatsoever. All right. They have 10 yards. 10. So you know what? I do hope that the defense is at least kind of highlighted. So Talty is a reincarnation of Cade Foster, Dirtbike says. Yeah, I was just curious. I was like, who was the last dude to get booed? That's crazy. Fans are pissed. You know what, though? I love the fans. Look, fans don't play. Fans know. 21-0. Alabama on the screen, it says a 62% chance to make the college football playoffs. Hacker Music, what's up, dog? Said Adam Griffin got booed. I'll remember that. All right, 10 minutes to go before halftime. hand off up the middle. Literally, like Eastern Illinois has not been able to do anything in this game. It's almost like, I'd like to highlight some of the players, but they literally can't do anything. And I think that Alabama's defense, and I understand the opponent, but they've been doing a great job this season. That's why I was surprised that the committee didn't highlight them. That's kind of something that made me mad. 2nd and 9 for the Panthers. You got Quay Russaw playing in the game. We'll look at his snap count after the game and see how many plays he played. Here he comes up the middle. It's a pass. It's complete for a first down, kind of sat in zone, and it's going to be a gain of like 15 yards. Mike says inside the comment box, missing a 20-yard field goal is unacceptable. Co-sign on that, 100%. And perfect weather, I could see if it was a hurricane. This is 70. I have 77 degrees right now. There's no wind over there. All right, 1st and 10, 8 minutes. Shotgun formation following a first down by the Panthers. Pistol formation, hands off. It's going to be tackled by LT Overton. All the starters still in this game. Oh, yeah, Colby, I'm on SEC Plus, so I'm so far behind, dog. I know. I don't have but the antenna, man, you can't mess with me on the antenna. The antenna, I'm undefeated. 2nd and 7 for Eastern Illinois. Panthers back to pass. It is going to be incomplete. Zay Mincy and Ivan Taylor on the deflection. See what Unknown Currency has to say inside the comment box. Hey, Kyle, he says, can you explain the SEC championship game? Is Georgia really going to be able to get a first-round bye and not have to play in the SEC championship game? Okay. Yeah. Eastern Illinois is moving the ball. It's 3rd and 7. I'll talk about this, Unknown Currency. So, that's a really good question. So if Georgia doesn't play in the SEC title game, and by the way, they're going to punt here, and Georgia does, they're going to win today and they beat Georgia Tech, let's say next week, they will finish the season 11-1. So where do you put the Bulldogs, right? Well, a lot of that kind of depends on, the SEC title game. Now, if Alabama beats Auburn and Texas A&M beats Texas, then Alabama would play Texas A&M. You could theoretically see, if Alabama beats A&M, you could definitely theoretically see Georgia get a top 4 spot. Because I think, 2 teams from the SEC in line to get a 1 and 2, right? Cole Adams returns a punt. He gets about 5 yards. And here comes Alabama's offense. And Dirtbike says, Kyle, I think the college football commissioner's wife's boyfriend. Look, I mean, you know what? In all honesty, I think the only person that could really, really fix college football would be Saban. I really do. And that's not like gassing up Saban or like, glazing Saban because of, that he was here. I honestly think he do. Listening to him on College Game Day, he makes amazing points. He's the only person that people, fully trust. He's rational. You put him and then you put like Josh Pate. I'm not playing. I think those guys would be much better than what we have right now for college football playoff committee. Ty Simpson back to pass. Fires and he's intercepted. Ty Simpson just threw an interception across the middle of the field, and it goes the 15-yard line. Wow. That is not good. Ty Simpson picked off against Eastern Illinois. Yikes. If you thought he wasn't going to live that one down against Oklahoma, he throws a wide open Eastern Illinois defender right across the middle of the field. Yuck. Threw it right to him. That is now his 3rd interception on the season. Yikes. Yo, now I think you kind of bring up, what's going on with Ty. And I think this is going to be a interesting spot to talk about Ty. And look, we have to talk about these things even when they're difficult. And so I have to ask you, is Ty Simpson regressing? Do you think that Ty is regressing, yes or no, inside the comment box? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Oh, man. Big sack by Alabama. I mean, this team's not going to score. They were at, the 15? Adam, a lot of people saying yes. You know what? I'm going to put that as the poll question. I know we just threw the pass, but we have to talk about news as it happens. Has Ty Simpson regressed? Is it yes or no inside the poll question? Please answer. It's tough, man. It's going to put me in a tough spot because, I have been protecting Ty, kind of, bringing up the fact that he's only thrown 2 interceptions on the year. Oh, man, you see him out doing, the commercials. You kind of see, where's his focus? You wonder if kind of the rat poison has got to him. I don't know. It's hard for it. I will assess that after the game. But missed field goal, interception. Damn. Woo. All right. Dirtbike says this inside the comment box. What's up? I love Dirtbike's avatar. I'm a huge dog person. So he says this. What he has done has been super impressive. He has many starts at freshman. It's really catching up to him. It's pretty disappointing to see this. 2 interceptions in the last 2 games. Man. Pass is incomplete on a 4th and 25. J24 says Ty needs to hit the bench. AJ McCarron, I think earlier this week, he was saying that teams have more tape on Alabama, right? That's why they're playing a little bit better against Alabama's offense. I thought that was a good point. My kind of defense was, and I think it was the film guy that brought it out, even the interception that he threw against Oklahoma, wasn't that supposed to be like a pass interference or something like that? I forget what Brooks said. But this interception, that was clearly like, how do you sugarcoat that? The guy was sitting right in his own coverage, and he threw it right to this guy. Ty is going to take a lot of heat for this one, a lot of heat. And the K1 says you can't bench for Ty for that. Yeah, I don't think Coach Kalen DeBoer will do that. And he's going to still be the guy, right? But I think that, you do look at your quarterback and you're like, where's his head at, right? Where are we at? Is he regressing? Is this something that, you just kind of move past? Dirtbike says the entire offense. One thing that I will say, and I bring this up too, is like, I think these small little hiccups, even against a team like this, will be magnified by the playoff committee. I promise you, I would imagine that they look at the recent play of Ty, right? Because now Ty has 6, 7. Think about this. This is crazy. Ty has, in the last 5 games, so last 5, help me out with this stat, fam. Is it last 5, 7 turnovers? Is that right? Let's see. Because he had 5 fumbles, right, the last 5 weeks, and he had 1 interception. So that was 6 total turnovers. And then he just threw another interception. So that, I believe the number is 7 total turnovers in the last 5 games. Is that right? The K1, help me out, dog. Not good. So we are in the second quarter. We got 5 minutes until halftime. And, of course, we'll go over the stats, the scores. I'll talk to you guys during the halftime break. It'll probably get heated. We'll keep a positive experience, but we'll have a realistic take. Looks like Jalen Hell's about to get in. This is according to Charlie Potter. All right. 1st and 10. Here comes Ty Simpson. Pistol formation. It's going to be a handoff to Jam Miller. Jam Miller gets to the outside, makes a man miss. He gets going. He's off to the races, and he is pushed out after running for 24 yards. Jam Miller showcasing his ability. A little 24-yard carry. Jam Miller now 8 carries, 55 yards. Good blocking right there by Cam Dewberry. I see Caden Proctor. Man, if Jalen Mbakwe maybe makes a block right there, he might have sprung him. 24-yard gain for Jam. He looks better. Looks a little faster or something. 1st and 10 for the Tide. Ty Simpson in shotgun. Hands it off to Jam and gets about 2 yards. It's going to be 2nd and 8 for the Tide. The Tide has 17 carries for 96 yards in this game. And someone mentioned, Jalen Hell. Yo, Jalen Hell's in. Nice point out, Austin. Hey, by the way, Austin, I'm glad you're able to find the game, bro. Second and 8. Ty Simpson still in the game at quarterback. 3 wide receivers down to your right. I think that's Jam in the backfield. He looks fast. It's going to be a keeper by Ty Simpson. He gets to the outside, and he is going to pick up 13 yards. Okay, I love the call right here from Ty, okay, or from Grubb. It was an option keeper. He gets the outside. But I don't want you running a game like this. I want you running against, SEC, the playoffs. But I don't want Ty, and I've been asking about Ty for him to run. I don't want him running against a team like this. But he does look nice. He don't use a lot of his running ability. First and 10. Ty is 8 of 11 in this game for 90 yards and an interception. Little to the outside. Pass is complete to number 14. That's going to be Marshall Pritchett for a gain of 6. Marshall Pritchett is a freshman tight end. Remember, today Josh Cuevas is not in action. Hulk Salami says, here's the real question. If Ty doesn't light it up against Auburn in the postseason, what happens? Does he stay or transfer? That is a whole show, Hulk Salami. But I've seen recent stuff on NFL that he's like a top 3 quarterback. 2nd and 5 for the Tide. Got a running back in the backfield. It's going to be a fake reverse. It's going to be kept by Jam Miller, and the gadget play goes nowhere. You got to get a gadget play at least 5 times a game if you're Grubb. He's got like a quota, and we're at the 2-minute warning. Well, I don't even know why you call some of these plays. Like, look, I get some of the gadget plays I like. You know how I feel about them. I've been very open about them all season. Like, a play like that, in my mind, you don't need that in a game like this. You call it, like, I always kind of, was brought up in football when I played. I was like, you use a gadget play in, like, kind of a dire situation. Something that nobody expects. Fourth quarter, we need some crazy thing. Some remember the Titans sort of stuff. But it's like that against these guys? Why? That looks mid, bro. KG, do you agree? Right? Like, remember the Titans, we need some crazy play. You put in Connor Talty and people are like, what? And then you run the ball with Proctor. Some crazy, stupid thing. Not like this. Oh, man. I'm not like, I just, they're up 21-0. But some of these things, you're like, the way that I'm happy that they're winning clearly, but the way that what makes me nervous is how the playoff committee is watching this game. Because even if Alabama, like wherever they go, and let's say they don't win the SEC championship game, they're a 10-3 team and they go back to little plays like this. Let me ask you this, okay? How would you say the offensive execution in this game has been on a scale of 1 to 10 against Eastern Illinois? Offensive execution. And Jam Miller right now, 10 for 59, 5.9 average per carry. Offensive. Oh, and you guys saw Jalen Hell out there, right? Okay, so you guys are saying from an offensive standpoint, like a 7 out of 10, 6 out of 10, mostly 7s. Okay, 5. Maybe it would probably be closer to like a 7. The defense is clearly a 10. And then special teams is probably like, what? Oh, Nataro is warming up his leg. Do we have another kicker coming on board? We have a kicker battle? Fans are calling for Nataro. Nataro. All right. We got 2 minutes. It is 3rd and 2 for the Tide. We're back on. Little handoff. That's going to be, what was that, Jam? Jam gets 3 yards, which is a first down. Jam Miller, 11 carries, 62 yards. Caden Proctor, someone just said he's at receiver? Why do they do stuff? I'm cool. All right, 2nd and 9. Someone said that. Did you guys see Caden Proctor's out at receiver? Yep, he's at receiver again. They pass it to Caden Proctor. What? How do you feel about that play? How do you feel about Caden Proctor catching a ball like this in this type of game? I honestly think that looks terrible. You know me. I want to stay in positive town. That is like ridiculous. Ridiculous. Like I think that is like, geez, that is like, it's frustrating to have to call a game like this. I don't get it. And I think like on that particular drive, it's like clearly Ty isn't calling those plays, but you ran 2 gadget plays on that drive, right? 2nd and 8. You have kind of a bunch set with your wide receivers. 2nd and 8, and it's going to be a handoff to Jam. He gets the outside, and he's going to barrel into, looks like the end zone, but there's a flag down. That was Kevin Riley, by the way. And it's going to be a holding call on Rico Scott. Yo, Riley's fast, man. Bernard is being held out today. It's nothing serious to be worried about. He'll be back next week. But it was a handoff to Kevin Riley. He makes a man miss. He gets some blocking outside by Caden Proctor. And they called a holding call on, was that? Yeah, holding on Rico Scott. Man, I think we got to talk about Grubbs, too. I ain't like that play. All right. First, it's going to be what? 2nd and 18. 1:18 before halftime. Ty Simpson back to pass. Finds an open man. That is going to be completed to, looks like Jalen Mbakwe. That's going to be a 26-yard pickup by Jalen Mbakwe. Alabama hustles up, and it's going to be a touchdown, Alabama, by Kevin Riley. Kevin Riley into the end zone, and it is 28-0. Kevin Riley, another touchdown for the Tide. The Tide go up 4 scores. The fans cheer. Will we see another kicker, I wonder? Oh, yeah, Peter Notaro is kicking the PAT. Wow, a Peter Notaro sighting. First time this year. Let's see how Peter Notaro does. Could we have a new kicker for Bama? All right, here's the snap, hold, down. Oh, my God, the kick barely went in. I'm telling you, that kick almost sliced out right. Oh, my God. Peter Notaro, Notaro. Yo, fam, let me ask you something. I'm not trying to scare you, but would that have been good from 28 yards? I don't think so. I think it would have sailed right. I promise. Would that have gone in from 30 yards? Yes or no inside the comment box? $28-0. Jonathan is asking, is Journey Bernard hurt? A little bit banged up, but he will be back for this next game against Auburn. All right. He's being held out. So same with Parker Brailsford. But the most notable injury right now that Bama is dealing with is Josh Cuevas. Looks like he has a foot. We don't know any sort of timetable. I'll cover that more at the halftime break. We got a minute before halftime. All right. Yo, that field goal trajectory, I'm telling you, that would not have gone in from 30 yards. I promise you. Maybe that's why he hasn't played. That was dicey. But it's 28-0, so you take it. Huh. All right, Eastern Illinois has gone absolutely nowhere. They have 15 yards total in this game. 15. We'll probably just get to halftime. Offense has 239 yards. Ty Simpson, 10 of 13 with the interception, no touchdown passes. They have 117 yards of rushing. Yes, B-Rob points out about Peter Notaro. He's a freshman walk-on. He's a walk-on, right? I think he's a walk-on. I'd probably play him the rest of the game just for reps, just for kicks. Right? Neil's like embarrassing to my Italian Notaro. Oh, man. The kicking game, right? 28-0. A minute left before halftime. Coming up on the halftime report, we'll go over stats, scores from around the country. We'll point out I have a couple questions for you at halftime as well. It's embarrassing. Eastern Illinois, these two teams should never be playing each other. Like, this team is terrible. Justin Hill, I guess, on the tackle. The running back literally, like, ran into the lineman and, like, fell down. Let's see. Dirtbike says, if you go back and watch Tati's kick, he makes everything from the left. Wow, I didn't notice that, Dirtbike. Interesting point out. I love stuff like that. Tide says Deuce Knight has 153 rushing yards for the Barn. Interesting. Yeah, he's a freshman quarterback starting today. All right, 56 seconds until halftime. DK Kitchen says, I love how we're calling timeouts to try to get the ball back. Yeah, you know what? I think it's because style points, right? I'm a 1,000,000% serious. I think they need to be up either 31 or 35-0 at halftime. Yeah, M3, we talked about DeBoer and kind of debunked that rumor. That's not going to happen. DeBoer's here, and that's just it. There was clearly people talking about that, but DeBoer's not. Yeah, I mean, you leave Penn State to go to Bama. You don't go from Bama to Penn State. You know what I'm saying? Bama's at the top. You know what, fam? So I have to tell you guys. Remember, I know the Kalen DeBoer, the black hoodie. People love the hoodie and all that stuff. So I was at Ace Hardware yesterday. I was getting some zip ties. There's 54 seconds left. Bama's going to get the ball back. But they have that hoodie minus the Nike swoosh. It just says Alabama. It's black. It has the same thing. Anybody could have made this in the entire world, right? I don't think anybody has copyright Alabama. All right, 54 seconds left, and Eastern Illinois is about to punt. The punt's a little shaky. It goes up, and Cole Adams will field it. He's going to get about 12 yards. So the Tide will have about 45 seconds to work with before halftime. So you have another opportunity to get some points on the board. Ty Simpson so far, 10 of 14, 122 yards. Oh, let's see. I know, J Mac. That's what I was wondering, bro. Like, is the hoodie like still a thing? I know. I thought the same thing, bro. All right, 4 wide receivers. Ty Simpson back to pass. He's going deep downfield, and it's nearly intercepted. It's nearly intercepted. It was broken down. He could have very well caught that ball. The guy, I think, has a club on his hand. Otherwise, he would have caught it. Yeah, the guy who knocked it down has like a broken hand. He couldn't have caught the ball even if he tried. 2nd and 10, that was a near interception. Yikes. All right, back to pass. Here comes the pressure. Oh my goodness. He avoids pressure and he's off to the races. He gets to the outside and he's going to be hit hard on his legs. He's going to bounce up, but that was not a good looking play. You might want to just sit on it here. I always say that and then they throw a touchdown. 3rd and 6. That wasn't a good-looking play. Yikes. Man, he took a tag. Ty Simpson back to pass, and the official stops the play. Yikes, man. Yo, that hit was nasty. He got hit right in the legs. Running around like that, I just take him out, man. What's the point? Oh, my goodness, and his leg almost got caught up, too. Did you see that? His bottom leg almost got twisted up. All right, so it's 3rd and 6. He got 12 seconds left. And I'm going to say this. Honest, you're watching the game too, right? The pressure came off that left side where Caden Proctor is, and they kind of filtered back. I thought it was going to be another sack. That's usually where he fumbles, right? That was scary. So it's 3rd and 6. You got 12 seconds left. Let's see what we got here. All right, we're trying to score, go 60 yards. I just sit right here, man. 12 seconds. Back to pass. Simpson steps up, avoids a sack. He's running. He throws downfield. It's completed to Ryan Williams. Williams makes a man miss. And we're at halftime. 25 yards, and that's how we end. That's how we're at halftime. Okay, let's see what happened here. Is this halftime? It was a 25-yard completion to Ryan Williams. They're looking at a man downfield. Marvin is saying Ryan got to get out of bounds. Yeah, he tried to make that guy miss, right? Cyber gun. I agree with you. How would you say that pass protection was on that last series against Eastern Illinois? It looked dicey. They almost got to him twice. Ryan could have went out of bounds. I think so. Okay, so they put 1 second on the clock. One second left. All right, let's see what they do. One second before halftime. Alabama has, of course, 5 wide. And Ty Simpson back to pass. Steps up, looking for somebody. Throws it deep into the end zone. And it's going to be intercepted. Intercepted to end half. Wow. Ty Simpson throws his second interception to end half. Wow, this team pretty disappointed with the first half play. Oh, my goodness. He threw his second interception. Just sit on it, man. What? God bless. Wow. Okay. While I post this message, how would you guys, yikes, how would you assess Alabama's overall play, overall as a team, on a scale of 1 to 10 in that first half? I'll bring up the stats in a second. All right. Okay. Let's talk. All right. We got some business to talk about. Okay. Alabama leads right now by a score of 28-0. Let's start with the good before we move into the bad, and then we'll look at some scores across the country, okay? All right. So the good, I think that from the running game perspective, you look to the stat box right here, right? And the numbers stand out more than any other game. And I understand who they're playing. But the numbers are better, okay? Jam, 11 for 62, has the longest at 24. He's got a touchdown. Kevin Riley has looked good, okay? 5 of 23, good to see him back in action. He has 2, including a nice catch, okay? Ty Simpson used his legs a little bit. He has 2 for 17. Daniel Hill, 2 of 14. As you can see, you've gotten a lot of different running backs in the rotation in this game. They're averaging 5.5. I think people are going to be like, well, who are they playing? I say the same thing. Of course, you're going to be able to run the ball against Eastern Illinois, okay? But the numbers are better. That's why I start there. Receiving-wise, Kevin Riley has 2 for 31. Isaiah has 2 for 29. Jalen Ibaka has 1 for 26. Ryan Williams has 1 for 25, okay? Now, the best part of this entire game has been Alabama's defense, okay? They've allowed 12 yards, okay? 13 pass, -1. This team is not going to be able to move the football. I think now to talk about the not so good, okay? And let me see what you guys were saying, because I was asking you to assess Alabama, at the halftime break. So as I kind of go to the negative, right? What would you assess Alabama's offensive performance on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the highest? And Mr. Archive saying inside the comment box, you overacting. That's an interesting take, okay? And I appreciate you, dog. I hope you're having a good day. Thanks for the feedback. And, of course, you guys can always disagree with me. These are just takes, okay? The way that I'm coming out of this, and I get it, and Mark Smith is saying negative, and you know me, I'm Mr. Positive, okay? But my job is also to be responsible in my reporting to, tell the truth, okay? And, give you my take. I feel like right now I'm a little bit frustrated with the way that the offense is played. I feel that Ty Simpson has been off. He threw that first interception. Look, you throw up a pass and a Hail Mary pass, anybody could come down with it, okay? I'm not going to take too much away from that play. But the first interception that he threw, that wasn't a good decision on Ty. That's on Ty, okay? I think the offensive line was challenged in a couple plays. The last half of the second quarter offensive line got challenged by Eastern Illinois. Am I wrong? They did. Eastern Illinois got to Ty a couple different times, which is obviously concerning. It's Eastern Illinois, right? That stands out to me. And I think one of the things that really, really bothers me, and maybe I'm overthinking it, overreacting it, but I think that there was the last drive where you went down and you had a fake reverse. Why are you running a fake reverse against these guys? Then they put Caden Proctor out there again and ran that same play. Why? Those were 2 wasted plays, right? And then I feel like the biggest issue, all right, which is probably bigger than anything else right now, is I think the kicking game, right? I feel like if they can't fix the kicking game, it's a 3-part game, right? Offense playing mid right now, but still, they're controlling. Play calling has not been good, in my opinion. Fam, look, I want to stay on positive time with you. I promise you, it's my birthday. But I have to tell you the truth, man. Those gimmick plays are stupid in a game like this. They're stupid, period. But in a game like this, you should never be running that plays. So the biggest issues with me right now that I have, kicking game number 1, terrible, okay? They put in the backup kicker. The guy almost missed the extra point. You want me to lie? That's the truth. Okay. The second thing is the play calling. The play calling in that second quarter was terrible. Terrible. Terrible, bro. Terrible. Okay. And the third thing is the interception that he threw. It sucks. You shouldn't be throwing. I was just going to war for Ty, saying that Julian Sain threw 2 interceptions against Ohio and Ty those 2 interceptions against Eastern Illinois. So. And check this stat out. Yo, this is going to trip you out. Oh, my God. Okay? And this is a true stat. Okay? I'm not making this up. It's a true stat. Okay? Okay. Ty Simpson. I'm going to type this out in the chat so I can verbalize it. Ty Simpson has 8 turnovers, okay, in the last 5 games. And he has 5 fumbles, right? And 3 INTs. That's literally a stat. Cali Bam was like, Kyle, I dare you to tell KP, hell no. Caden Proctor would pick me up and throw me off my balcony. I'm just saying, like, in a game like this, it just doesn't make sense. I get it. Every once in a while, maybe you get down to the goal line. You're at the end of the game, whatever, you know? But, like, in a game like this, it's kind of dumb. But that is a stat, fam. Like, I'm not making that up. 8 turnovers in the last 5 games. So Coach Kalen DeBoer at the halftime break, and this quote just came in on the Crimson Tide Sports Network. Coach Kalen DeBoer regarding the field goal kicker. When we get a field goal opportunity, we'll put Talty out there. We're just going to get some other guys' opportunities out there too. We'll get him back, trying to rotate here last home game. Wow. All right, so I guess, Connor Talty, is still their field goal kicker. It does make me nervous. What's your level of nervousness when Connor Talty comes out to kick a field goal on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being like utterly like very nervous? I'd say for me right now, it's probably like a 10. All right, let's look at a couple other scores around the country. Whew, man. So the chat summary, it says, viewers express concerns about Ty Simpson's performance, citing turnovers and missed throws. Some viewers are comparing him to Jalen Milroe. That's what the chat summary says. I guess that's a robot's take. All right, let's get out of Tuscaloosa for a minute. Let's take a little breather. Go around the country. All right, so games taking place. Let's start with. I guess we'll start with the S. Let's go top 25. And as you know, Florida State again lost their 6th game, which is not good either for the resume. Just saying, they did. All right, so Miami is beating Virginia Tech by a score of 27-17. Georgia is beating Charlotte 35-3. Alabama is beating Eastern Illinois right here in Tuscaloosa 28-0. Okay. You have Notre Dame beating Syracuse. Oh, Syracuse 3-7. Great. Kentucky and Vanderbilt tied in the first quarter. Game just kicked off. At 2:30, you got USC taking on Oregon. You have Arkansas and Texas. We'll be watching that game, right? Tulane taking on Temple. Kansas State taking on Utah, and then a couple other games that went final today. You had Oklahoma beating Missouri by a score of 17-6. I watched a little bit of that game. It was 3-0 for, I think, most of the first quarter. Was it? Yeah, first quarter, and then Oklahoma scored 2 and limited Missouri's offense. And I think Bo Prabula was back, right? Hey, Smoke, I appreciate it, man. Thank you for the birthday wishes. 42 years old, bro. Shoot. Man, getting up there. We have Ohio State beat Rutgers. They play nobody. I fully understand who they're playing today, Alabama, but, they played UCLA last week, right? A&M. See, these are style points right here. And Alabama could still get style points. It's just like, I think that you need to start. You'll definitely get another quarterback, or more than right? You'll get to see 2 quarterbacks play today, I think. Let's see. Dirt bike, man. I've been highlighting you a lot today, man. You've been bringing up some good points. 5 of Ohio State's last 7 games this year were against teams with losing records. Okay. So now I want to ask you. Now that it's 28-0, we're at halftime, and 73% of you feel that Ty Simpson has regressed. Okay. So now I want to ask you. We know the stats. We know what happened in the game. We understand that Alabama is still up 28-0. But let's say, and let me ask you, are we overreacting? Okay. Are we overreacting at Alabama's performance in the first half? Or is it – no, that's it. That's the poll. All right, I'm going to type this in 2 seconds. Maybe we're overreacting a little bit. Maybe we're a little bit nervous. I don't know. I want to hear from you. And trust me, I'm not prideful to go against you guys. If you think this is overreaction, that's fine. All right, let's see. Oh, no. How do I get out of these options? Oh, there you go. All right, I just posted it inside the poll. So are we overreacting at Alabama's performance in the first half? So far, it's 50-50. Okay. So far, pretty good vote so far. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I'm just a little bit nervous. Maybe I need a little adult beverage after the game to chill. It just, you know what? I do feel, though, I think what is freaking me out more than anything, I guess, is the way that the committee, because there's two types of ways that you could watch the game, right? Watch the game as like a fan and you just win. You're happy because you're just winning. 28-0, who gives a crap, whatever. We're winning. But the way that I guess what's giving me a little bit of anxiety is like how the committee is watching Alabama. And if the committee is watching Alabama maybe the way that like an analyst would be watching, they're seeing flaws. And you're only getting better or worse, right? So they're probably seeing Alabama like, this isn't a team that is like a playoff type team. They can't kick a field goal. Their quarterback has 8 turnovers in the last 5 games. He's thrown 2 against this, Eastern Illinois. They don't look, they're not having these long sustaining drives that they used to. I guess that's what's giving me a little bit of anxiety. But other than that, I mean, you could be like, yo, the defense is playing outstanding. Because they are. The way that the defense is playing is stellar. I mean, look, this team is not going to be able to move the football against any SEC teams, but it is what it is. So my big 3 kind of takeaways right now is kicking game, Ryan Grubb's play calling, and Ty Simpson's play. Right? And Josh, when I'm off the clock working, I don't know. Sometimes maybe like after the game, and like I'm not, like me personally, I'm not a big drinker, but I will have, drink. Maybe like a hottie toddy, for the pipes. Been talking, all day. But I don't know. I just feel maybe a little bit more, I guess, I want to see more of a completed game by Bama. And I don't necessarily know if I feel completely satisfied after that first half. So that's kind of where things stand. But maybe things can change. Maybe you come out in the second half. I mean, things can certainly change, right? Half by half. Okay, I want to hear from you inside the comment box. Do you have like let me ask you this, okay? Before we go back to action, and we're still at halftime, what's your biggest concern right now? Do you have one? Maybe you don't have one. What is your concern right now? The K1. What's up, man? I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much, bro. Yeah, what would satisfy me? That's a great question in the world of like people that are unsatisfied, right? I think I would like to see maybe a long sustaining drive of like complete dominance. I feel that they've kind of got away from that. I feel maybe a little bit more dominance from the Alabama offensive line. Like I saw them get challenged out here. I really did. I would like to see maybe Peter Nataro come in and be like, maybe I could have a little bit more confidence in the kicking game. Like, cause I feel completely satisfied on the defensive side, right? And I do feel that Alabama, like head to head, they have so much more talent than Eastern Illinois, right? It's not even close. So maybe like those type of things. So I'm asking my question right now before we, move to back to action. Like, what is your biggest concern? We got Mike and Austin saying the kicker. Christian is saying the kicker and the running game. Blissful Love, what's up? Good to see you. I appreciate your support, by the way, inside the comment box. Easy Peasy saying we need to score faster. I like this right there. Jacob is saying O-line issue will not get fixed this year. And this is we have had an issue on the right side of the offensive line for 2 consecutive years. Bama Dog is saying the regression of Ty Simpson. Nataro says, or Dirtbike says, Nataro has kind of that Lee Trevino fade type kick. Yeah, that kick was a little bit dicey. The O-line as a whole. Roll Tide Zach, what's up, bro? Wants to see it 60-0. The Tide has to drive this offense. Ty is not doing it. Ty is looking like a first-year starter. Josh Miller, our offense doesn't. Yes, Josh, that's it. There you go. K1, this would also satisfy me. Is a little bit more rhythm with the offense. It looks kind of out of sync, right? Kind of looks kind of clunky, and then you hit like a deep ball. But it looks a little bit clunky. And what is clunky to me? That means you're doing kind of weird things. Like you're running on odd downs. You're running some gadget plays. Not maximizing the clock. Look, I mean, sometimes a flex is just sitting on the ball. Like, why did they have to throw that last Hail Mary? This could be it. I mean, you're also missing. Okay. You know what? We also have to remember, too, Alabama's missing 3 starters on offense. And how big does that play a role in this? Parker Brailsford, Jeremy Bernard, and Josh Cuevas. I just feel my argument would be like, it doesn't matter against Eastern Illinois. We have starters that, can replace in this game. That shouldn't be an issue in a game like this. Be back in 1 minute. All right, I'm back. I told you, mom's in town. She got in last night. And she made me some, I told you earlier in like the second quarter, I could smell something cooking. And she brought me a little bit of soup. So I appreciate that. Is anybody familiar? We're about to start the second half. Is anybody inside the chat familiar with New Mexico green chili? Do you know what this is? It's completely different than like a Texas chili or, what you might commonly think of chili. Like Hatch green chili is specific taste and smell. I don't know. I have a little bit of a green chili stew going on, so I'm not going to lie. I'm excited about it. All right, here's the kickoff, and we have started the second half. Let's see let's root for a much better second half of the Tide. At least on the offensive side. Defense was flawless. Right? Dirtbike Meatloaf. All right. We got Derek Meadows sighting, and we got Austin Mack. Austin Mack is in the house. All right, let's see what Austin Mack can do. Let's go, Austin. Come on now. He has just 11 attempts this season, so he definitely needs more reps, more opportunities. It's going to be a quarterback keeper by Austin Mack. It's kind of like an option read, and he takes it, and he gets 6 yards. I think Austin Mack, from what I understand, would they have him at 6'7"? Maybe it doesn't matter. But I heard he's 6'7". All right, it is 2nd and 4 for the Tide. Austin Mack back to pass. Fires it out to Kevin Riley. Riley picks up the first down. It is the third quarter. That's not right, Kyle. There we go. And Austin Mack picks up a first down with a completed pass to Kevin Riley. Another little handoff by the Tide. It's going to go to Riley. Riley's going to pick up a nice little gain of about 7 yards. Kevin Riley on the game, 6 carries for 30 yards. Hadn't seen Kevin Riley in a while, man. It's good to see him back, as mentioned. And then, wow, this is interesting. Ryan Grubb is on the sideline this game. I know who pointed that out. I think it was somebody pointed it out inside the comment box. It's the first game we've seen Grubb on the sideline. Is that weird? Why would he go from the box to the sideline this game? Austin Mack back to pass. It's a completed ball outside to, that is Brody Dalton. It's going to be a 1st and 10 for the Tide. Is a 13-yard completion. I'm sorry, 10-yard completion to Brody Dalton. A.K. Deer in at running back. It's going to be a little handoff to A.K. Deer. Wow, he gets out and he's flying. That was a 13-yard run by A.K. Deer. A.K. Deer with a 13-yard pickup. He has 2 for 17. Yo, he's fast. Yeah, he's fast, fam. All right, he's fast. No, Brody Dalton is a transfer tight end, Philip. So I think he's probably like a junior redshirt or a senior, but he's a upperclassman. He was a transfer in. Alabama moving the chains. Austin Mack at quarterback. Fake handoff, and it's a bullet to the outside to Cole Adams. He makes a man miss, and he gets up the field. Wow, nice completion. 13 yards to Cole Adams. Yo, here we go. This is what is satisfying, right? I'm not mad at this offense at all. Like, they got rhythm. They're running the ball. They don't look one-dimensional, right? Austin Mack used his legs, handed off to A.K. Deer. He moved the ball. Passed to Cole Adams. He got upfield. We got rhythm right here. The offense, I'm telling you, does the offense look better right now? Yes or no? And just yes or no, regardless of who it is. A.K. Deer comes in at Wildcat, another little gadget type play, and he gets 3 yards. But yes or no, does the offense just look like it's running? Looks better. Just looks better. You got an injured man for Eastern Illinois, so I'd imagine we take a timeout. But to me, I thought this was such a great question. I think it was by K1 inside the comment box. He's like, Kyle, what would satisfy you? That was a good question, bro. I think what we're seeing right here is domination, right? Clicking, moving the ball, variety. So I think sometimes in that first half, it looked a little bit out of sync, no rhythm, clunky, whatever. This looks good. Oh, J-Mac. So we have USC and Oregon that have kicked off, and you got Oregon on the ropes early. Wow, that's an interesting game to watch. Let's see. We got a super chat in. Let's get that on the board. I appreciate it. Let's see. Freedom, thank you so much, man. Love it. Love the flag inside the comment box. Notre Dame just scored 21 points without offense ever stepping on the field, breaking the record of 20 points held by Georgia Tech in 1916. That's a crazy stat. Let's see. We looked over a couple of different scores. I don't know if I overlooked that one. Has that game gone? Okay, it is 21-0 in the first quarter. Okay. Interesting. Thanks for the super chat, bro. I really appreciate it. Notre Dame trying to get to 9-2. No conference, so they finish out, 10-2. They're done. 2 losses to A&M and to Miami. Philip is asking inside the comment box, Kyle, who will be our QB and QB2 running back next year? Clearly they're going to let these guys battle it out, right? Like Austin Mack is the number 2 quarterback. I think Keelan Russell is also right there. So I really couldn't tell you. I do like what I see from Austin Mack. I mean, the guy's barely played. Keelan Russell's barely played. Running back number 1 next year, you're going to have that running back room. I hate to go on the gas up route, but man, you're going to have A.K. Deere, Kevin Riley, Daniel Hill, and then Xavier Crowell. Man, I don't know. That having Xavier Crowell and at least looking him against high school competition, he looks like he's a takeover type running back. All these guys do, at high school, but it seems like there's something a little bit different about Xavier Crowell. Have you seen Xavier Crowell's highlights, by the way? In M3S, if it's Ty's last season, he has 1 more year. He's a redshirt junior. And I think a lot of people are asking that question too, is what about Ty Simpson? If he has kind of a back end, maybe collapse or whatever, does he still go to the NFL? I would probably say yes at this point in time, but I guess we'll just have to see. All right, so Alabama trying to punch it in. And A.K. Deere is the running back. It's a handoff, and A.K. Deere is going to get into the end zone for the Tide. So another rushing touchdown. Alabama has 5 rushing touchdowns today. 5. And A.K. Deere, the true freshman, scores I think it's his 2nd touchdown, right? What have you thought about A.K. Deere? I mean, A.K. Deere has 4 carries for 21 yards. But just based on what you've seen from the small sample size, what have you thought about him? What just jumps out? Does his speed, the toughness, his ability to catch the ball? Here's the other kick by Connor Talty. This is the PAT. And the kick is right through the pipes. $35-0 after Connor Talty puts it through the uprights. And I think, what was the line on this game? 50? Right? I'd say the A.K. Deere is nice. Very nice. He's fast. He's fast as hell. I think being 1,000,000% honest, A.K. Deere looks really fast, and so does Kevin Riley. They're not as big as Jan Miller and Daniel Hill. Mike, what's up, man? Mike says, Kyle, who would you rather see transfer, Ty, Austin, or Keelan? Oh, that's a crazy war question. When I played NCAA football and I got through that first season, what happened to me was Austin Mack transferred out. But if Ty comes back, oh man, that would cause maybe 2 quarterbacks to transfer out. I don't know. That's a tough question. I can't answer that right now. I'm going to pass. All right, 35-0. Alabama about to kick off to Eastern Illinois. As a reminder, Eastern Illinois has 12 yards total. 12 yards. And will a quarterback transfer? I have no idea. Anything could happen in college football right now. Anything could happen. It's crazy. What they need to do in college football is they need to change the timelines of everything. We need to go back when kids were graduating, or signing back in February, because all this stuff that's happening in December, everything is smashed in December and it's causing chaos. You could alleviate a lot of that chaos by pushing out things a couple months again. Like Coach Saban was saying in Eastern Illinois about a 1st and 10 there at shotgun. Coach Saban was saying, look, in the NFL, you can't talk to an opposing coach until he's completed a season. That should be the rule, period, for college football. All right, this guy goes absolutely nowhere. He's hit by Noah Carter, number 24. Type in 24. We love Noah Carter. Who do I think will be the starting running back next year? Daniel Hill. It'll be Daniel Hill, Kevin Riley, and then you'll have the other guys, get opportunities. Unless, they feel that they want a faster running back. And if they want a faster running back, they got one. They got Kevin Riley. If he adds a little bit more weight and can retain his speed. All right, these guys are going nowhere. It is 2nd and long. Quarterback rolls out. He throws it. It goes nowhere. It's going to be 3rd and 12. Got a lot of different guys on the field right now. That tackle was made by – who made that tackle? I think that was Luke Metz. Was that Luke Metz? We got Ivan Taylor. We got Luke Metz. We got a lot of these freshmen playing. 3rd and 12. This will be – are these guys even going to get 50 yards in this game? 3rd and 12 for the Panthers. Back to pass, and it's incomplete, and they'll punt. Okay. We'll see Austin Mack get more opportunities. And this just in from Matt Zenitz on X. Source says LSU is preparing to deal a $100 million deal at Lane Kiffin. Wow. The better that Womack does, too, I would imagine that he continues to get calls, right? Punt is away. Returning the punt is still Cole Adams. And the Tide will start at, the 23. And, look, I think 2 coaches right now that are being targeted by their spots. I think you got Kane Womack. I think you got Jamarcus Shepard. But these guys, they're going to get interviews, but that doesn't mean they're going to take those jobs. You got to hear, I guess, if you're an assistant, you got to hear what someone might be offering. But I don't think those are landing. I don't think Oregon State would be a great spot for Jamarcus Shepard, and I don't think he's ready yet, just my personal opinion. I think Womack is ready to be a head football coach again, but Oklahoma State is not the spot. Man, Lane Kiffin, $100 million. That is crazy. What's his record against top 25? Marcus says, call him BS on the $100 million. I think maybe how they're putting that together. I was thinking that too. $100 million. I think giving him a contract worth whatever, $80 million or whatever, and I wonder if that includes the $25 million that he'll have for roster cash. Hey fam, can you help me out? I don't know where Red Morgan is. I saw that Shaq. I'll look into that. I think we saw him in the first half, but I don't know if we've seen him lately. But how much money does Alabama have in roster cash? Because from what I saw, LSU is also offering $25 million in roster cash to Lane Kiffin. So I was thinking, well, how much money does Alabama have in roster cash? And then I was thinking, is it that $20 million number that you have to share with other schools, or is that like a different pot? I don't know. But I was like, damn, 25 roster cash. What does Bama have? So J24 is saying, and all this is like still unconfirmed, but people are talking. I see the numbers too. J24 is saying 90. That's what I was wondering, J24. $90 million contract and $25 million in roster cash. That is, LSU has money like that? I'm telling you. Whew, man. So Kevin is saying this. All right. So Kevin, we'll talk about this week, bro. But he says Alabama's number in NIL cash like 6. Right? It's some like the numbers are like so far from 25. That's at least what they say. We'll have to look into that. Jay is saying 7-8 million, not including third party. Damn. LSU's about to buy anybody that they want, right? All right, we got Kalen Russell in at quarterback. Okay. All right, let's go, Keelan. See what you got, bro. It was a handoff to Lazier Brooks, freshman to freshman, and he throws it out to Lazier Brooks, and it's going to go for -2. So we got Keelan coming in. This will be the third quarterback we've seen for the Tide today. You know, this is surprisingly, this is Keelan's second game that he's played this year. He's facing a 3rd and 10 right now. But he only played in that Louisiana Monroe game. I mean, he just hasn't had opportunities, right? All right, so he's got 4 wide. He's got Draylen Washington in at running back. Looks like he might be changing a few things. 3rd and 10 for Keelan. Let's see how he can operate. And he throws a really nice pass, which is completed to Jalen Mbakwe. Okay. So Jalen Mbakwe on the reception. I think Bach has 2 receptions. Yeah, he has 2 for 39. Hey, nice little step-up pass there from Keelan Russell. You know, there's something about Keelan. Like, one thing that stands out to me when I'm talking about Austin Mack is it seems like he has a lot of velocity on his pass, right? Like, the ball just flies out. But I don't know. I feel like there's something almost like romantic about the way that the ball comes off with Keelan. And I don't know which is better. I don't know, but it you know what I'm saying? It looks nice the way the ball comes out. So Keelan Russell right now leading the team at quarterback. You also had Austin Mack, who led a scoring drive. Keelan Russell, 2 of 2. Austin Mack, 3 of 3. So, you know, one of the key quintessential pieces of Alabama's, you know, class of 2025 was Keelan Russell. Dano saying give Keelan a shot with the ones. I think some of these guys do get opportunities, you know, during practice, but that, you know, I'd like to see all these quarterbacks in some different opportunities. Keelan Russell is going to hand the ball off to Draylen Washington. Goes for about 4. Keelan Russell back to pass, steps up. He's going to find Marshall Pritchett. Pritchett gets a first down. Keelan Russell is 3 of 3. Malik is asking about Washington. You know, he's been a guy that just hasn't played. You know, I think it's kind of probably a talent thing. He might be, you know, lesser than the other running backs, but he hasn't played a lot. He plays on special teams. Made a really good special teams play against Missouri? Will says inside the comment box, Kyle, would you rather have see Ty get more reps or other quarterbacks? I think you sit Ty for the day. I mean, that's your quarterback number 1, right? Going into this later part of the season, you got to avoid an injury. or something, that might come up. But I think it's important for these other guys to get reps. I mean, you're only like one play away, and they really haven't been able to play a lot, these other quarterbacks. Right now, Mac is 3 of 3. Keelan Russell's 3 of 3. So, but I think it's just important to get these guys reps, snaps. So Richard Young is def transferring. Yeah, I guess. I mean, he doesn't play at all, right? Unless it's something else. Like, I don't know if it's grades or who knows? I have no idea. He don't play anymore. And like you guys are talking about the transfer portal and stuff like that, the running back position, you also have Xavier Crowell coming in, right? You know who's going to be crazy next year for the Tide coming in is Sedarian Morgan. Yo, Sedarian Morgan, some of the plays that guy makes, I honestly feel that Sedarian Morgan might even play this year. Andre says, Kyle, do you think all the mentality of Bama football has changed since DeBoer has taken over? Things change. I mean, clearly you don't have that type of person in the locker room. No one is ever going to be like Coach Saban, right? And it's pretty much it's almost all DeBoer guys now, right? There's only a couple left over that are Saban. So I think things have certainly changed, and college football has changed in general. But the players love DeBoer. That's why when we were talking about that stupid Penn State stuff late in the week, I just thought it was so stupid. I'm like, there's no way DeBoer is going to leave all this talent that he has coming up to go to Penn State. It was dumb. Whoever made that rumor up was damn good, because I was trying to avoid it during the week, and then it got so big that I was like, damn it, I got to have a show about it. I felt it was wasted space, but that's what was popular. All right? I don't know who makes up that type of a rumor, but that was a good one. All right, we come back out. We're in the third quarter. And let's see, Alabama's facing a 1st and 10. You got Caleb Edwards, a freshman. You got Keelan Russell as a freshman. You got Draylen Washington at running back. Got a man in motion, which is Jalen Hill. Hey, Keelan Russell pointing out protection. Here's a snap for Geno Vandermark. Back to pass. Keelan Russell keeps eyes downfield. Finds a wide open Caleb Edwards for a gain of 30 yards. Oh, Chris from New Jersey, welcome back, bro. Yo, that was a nice ball right there. Let's see, little play action. Looks downfield. Yo, that's a nice ball. Atta boy, young man. Yeah, that's a nice ball. Yo, that's freshman on freshman right there. Keelan Russell now 4 of 4, 49 yards. That's a nice ball. Malik's crying. Me too, dog. Bryce was different. Handoff to the outside to Draylen. Yo, Draylen Washington even looks nice. The little pickup of, 14? Man, Alabama has used every running back outside of Richard Young. They have 31 rushes for 172. U Gordon's wanting more running game. What's up, man? Appreciate the super chat. Love the Snoopy. Big fan of the Peanuts, bro. Snoopy, Linus, the whole crew, right? Little handoff to the outside to Dre Washington. They'll probably get Dre Washington a touchdown, too. What was the bird called in Peanuts? Snoopy's friend? You know the little bird that, fly around? 2nd and goal for the Tide. Yeah, it's hard not to like the additional quarterbacks. They look good. they do. All right, 5 wide, shifting guys into position, and you have Draylen Washington as the running back. 2nd and goal. Handoff to the middle. Jalen Washington gets 5 yards. Woodstock. Yes, thank you. Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate the birthday wishes. Appreciate it. Yeah, Woodstock. Yo, Woodstock's a G, bro. There's some real people in life. Woodstock was that ride. Woodstock was ride or die, right? I'm surprised you guys you guys know what's up. Woodstock, good people. All right, 3rd and goal. Little handoff to Dre, and he's not able to get much, and there's a flag on the play. It's going to be a holding call. I don't know who that was on. Let's see. Yeah, Charlie Brown, the teacher. You could never hear what she was saying. Peppermint Patty. I don't know who the penalty was on. All right, so you got what? A 4th down. Alabama's going to go for it. 4th and goal. This is interesting. So you have a 4th and goal with Keelan Russell, your quarterback, right? It's going to be like a 4th and 4. All right, they're going for it. Keelan Russell, let's see what you could do. All right, 4th and goal, shotgun formation. A lot of motion. You got Cole Adams out here. You got Jalen Hell, Jalen Washington. Keelan Russell back to pass, fires it into coverage, and it's incomplete. Turnover on downs. Wow, Alabama, that is interesting right there that, you know, you give your quarterback an opportunity to throw a touchdown, right? But also it's like you kind of wonder in the back of your head, you're like, are they scared? Are they that scared to kick a field goal at this point of the game? All right, let's see. It looks like Rico Scott might have been open, too, up on that top part. All right, so Keelan Russell gets in. Overall, I thought Keelan Russell's looked good. So far, 4 of 5, 49 yards. Okay, so we all know that Eastern Illinois ain't going anywhere. These guys, these guys have 15 yards, bro. And Malik's like, chill, chat. I'm actually, the only thing that I wonder about on that drive is like the kicking, but I think they're trying to give Keelan Russell opportunities in like situational football. Keno had Washington running wide open. I'll have to watch that. I didn't see the running back leak out. All right, Luke Metz on the tackle. It was good to see Luke Metz. Yo, remember when Luke Metz was being recruited here? The guy he's from Georgia. And Kirby Smart did everything possible to try to keep him in the state of Georgia. You just couldn't. Luke Metz wanted to be a member of the Tide probably more than anybody. All right, 2nd and 4 for the Panthers. Alabama has 104 yards of offense. Eastern Illinois has 17. I've never seen a game like this, to be honest, like in terms of yards. Goes for, 2 yards. It's going to be a 3rd and 3. B-Rob also had the running back wide open on the check down. I didn't see that. Thanks for pointing that out, fam. I'm really not mad at that drive, to be honest. I looked at the drive. I looked at the throw that he made to Caleb Edwards, right? We saw a little bit of bake and shake from even Jalen Washington on that. You know, Debbie points out when that offense came out, they had a lot of momentum, right? Rhythm, quickness. Dano thinks that Austin Mack will be the one transferring. All right, 3rd and 3 for the Panthers. They just hand it off and it literally goes nowhere. Like nowhere. And they'll punt the ball away. And I think we're going to get Austin Mack to come back to lead the offense. Punt is away to Cole Adams, and Alabama will start the at the 40-yard line. So they have, this is a great opportunity to get some points. Let's see what Austin Mack can do. So far, Mack in that first drive was 4 of 5, 49 yards. Yes or no, chat, inside the comment box, do you think that Austin Mack will throw a touchdown pass? Yes or no, inside the comment box, do you think Austin Mack will throw a touchdown pass? Or do you think Alabama will score with a running back? TD pass or run? Inside the comment box for a touchdown. What's up, Akeem? Thanks for being here, bro. He's talking about Chuck McDonald. Yeah, freshman corner. Has he even played, Akeem? All right, Austin Mack, he has 4 wide receivers back to pass. Looking, checks progression. Checks down to Brody Dalton. Brody Dalton with the reception. And it's going to be a second down. All right, most of y'all are saying run. They've scored 5 rushing touchdowns in this game. Second and 5. Mack back to pass. It's a deep ball, and it's going to be to Derek Meadows. And come on. It's pass interference all over the place. Derek Meadows was literally being hugged in the end zone. So it's a pass interference. I don't know. This board that I'm watching here says offsides. Clearly that's wrong. That was a pass interference by a mile. Oh, so there was an offsides penalty as well as pass interference. All right. Man, that was, you know what? There's been a couple plays like that this season that they haven't called pass interference on, right? All right. So Alabama at the 20, Austin Mack at quarterback. Austin Mack back to pass. He's going to step up. He's going to use his legs, and Austin Mack is going to run for a touchdown. That is a 20-yard touchdown by Austin Mack. Wow. Yo, Mack can run a little bit. Why don't we type 10 inside the comment box for a 20-yard scamper by Austin Mack? Yo. Backup quarterback, QB, Austin Mack, runs for a 20-yard score. Yo, I'm not going to lie, that looked nice. All right, so Austin Mack, Josh, I kind of think the same thing. I've never, to be honest, I have never seen Austin Mack run. Like, never in my life, okay? And it's something that kind of low-key, I'm going to write this down so we can talk about it. Mack running. $20-yard TD. What? I don't think anybody has seen him run. Maybe like in high school or whatever. But that is kind of like low-key is something that I kind of always wondered about. I'm like, can this guy, what is his mobility, right? Like, if he has to run. Yo, he looked fast, man. The dude is tall. Is he the tallest Alabama quarterback, fam? They have him at 6'6". I heard he's 6'7". Is that, actually, there's a walk-on that's taller than him. John Gazaniga, I think, is like 6'8". Is he the tallest quarterback that Bama's had? 42-0. It is a third quarter. 1 minute until the fourth quarter. Young C is calling for 66-0. Eastern Illinois going nowhere. Guys knocked out of bounds, and it might be the same story with Eastern Illinois' offense. I'm not gonna lie. It's Taylor. Yeah, John Gazzaniga is a walk-on from somewhere, I forget, somewhere in California. I don't think he's ever gonna play, but he is on the roster, and I think he is. I honestly think he's 6'7" or 6'8" and like 260. I'm dead serious. Look it up. John Gazzaniga. All right, Eastern Illinois back in action. Little run up the mid to the outside, actually. And I don't know, they pick up a little on that. 3 yards, I guess. All right, Mike G just points out that Georgia beat 1-10 Charlotte 35-3. Ooh, interesting. All right, so there's kind of the standings. They just showed them. Did you see that? Bama just has to beat Auburn, right? B-Rob says Mac reminds me of Tyree. I haven't thought of Tyree Jackson in a long time. 2nd and 7 for Eastern Illinois. We're still in the third quarter. We got 14 seconds in the fourth quarter. Panthers roll out, passes it, and it's going to be caught. And we are going to go into the fourth quarter with a score of 42-0. All right. All right. 42-0. Little Billy Jug says you could see a little jealousy in Keelan Russell. Is it like on the sidelines when he scored? I didn't see any of that. I mean, my biggest takeaway so far, I think, from the quarterbacks is we already knew coming into this game that Austin Mack has a cannon, right? What we didn't know about him, I think, was his mobility. His mobility, that was good to me. Okay, I understand who they're playing, but the mobility is kind of, I just wondered about it. And I think with Keelan Russell, it's kind of a continuation of his smooth delivery. And I think the best play he's had so far is that nice pass that he threw downfield to Caleb Edwards, right? So I think quarterback's on track. I leave this game, and I'll talk about, takeaways and stuff like that on the post-game show, but I like where we're at with the development of the quarterbacks. And I might ask you in the post-game show, which will be after this broadcast, right here on the same video, I might ask you who you think the next quarterback to start for Alabama will be next season. I might ask you. All right. Let's see. Oh, I had a question. I put this question on the board. 630 Connor, what's up, bro? I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here. He said, Kyle, I said this earlier to you, but you missed it. Auburn starting. I didn't see this. Thank you for bringing that back up. Auburn starting safety got ejected for targeting and will be out the first half. Wow, that's huge. Thank you so much, bro, for bringing that up. I'm going to write that down so I could talk about it on the post. And so a couple things, I think Auburn, so I'm going to write Auburn safety and then Cuevas. I'm going to write Iron Bowl. So I think when you kind of look to, we'll discuss the Iron Bowl, a ton. But some early notes on that game is who's going to start at quarterback for Auburn, right? By the way, Oregon is beating USC 14-7. And who's going to start for Auburn at quarterback? Because they started Deuce Knight today. They had to keep Ashton Jones from burning his red shirt, so that's why they went with the freshman. And now I think notes are, okay, there's starting safety. He's out the first half. And what's the status with Josh Cuevas? I think that probably has to be one of the bigger questions. Hopefully, one of the team reporters asked Coach DeBoer about it right away is like, what's the status on Josh Cuevas? Someone said inside, I have not verified this. This is just what somebody said in the chat. So this is just hearsay. Until we hear it from Coach Kalen DeBoer, that's the final word, right? but somebody said that he broke his foot. I did not hear that up until the comment box, so I have no idea. They showed him on the broadcast, but they showed him just from his shoulders. I would imagine he's in a boot. He was standing. But Josh Cuevas, he's a guy you certainly need in. Brody Dalton has been Alabama's top tight end today, and Brody Dalton has 3 for 22. So we have started the fourth quarter. And it goes absolutely nowhere. He's stuffed. The Panthers are 1 of 10 on third downs. Let me ask you this, chat. Alabama's about to get the ball again. Do you think Alabama should earn credit from their defensive performance today against Eastern Illinois, or is it like that will go unlooked because of just the competition? Like, what I'm asking you is, should the defense get kudos? Because look, this team is terrible. They're just terrible. They have no offense. They're not going to get a lot done. But you still got to play. You still got to stop them on 3rd and 2. I don't know. Eastern Illinois, they beat a couple teams earlier on the season, but I think they've lost like 6 in a row, if I'm not mistaken. I think the defense should get props too, because the thing about the defense is this has been the constant with the defense, right? High-level play, and it's continuing. Keelan Russell rolling out. He's in at quarterback. Whoa, he's using his legs. Yo, he's fast too. See, and Jonathan, I'm with you. I think that with the way that the defense has been playing, it's been a constant. It's not like all of a sudden the defense just played good. They've been playing good for the last, 7 weeks, 8 weeks. Man, he looked fat, right? Yo, Jay, U9, did you see that Keelan Russell looked fast? Like really fast. All right, it's going to be 3rd down, 3rd and 3. Woof. Unknown currency, 100%, bro. He's saying, unknown currency is saying, I don't care who you play. You give it 23 yards of offense, 100%. All right, 3rd and 3. Little handoff. I think is that Riley? Yeah, Riley picks up the 1st down. Moving the chains. Hey, R. Howard, thank you so much for the birthday shout out, bro. I appreciate it. Thank you, man. It's been an amazing day. Do we have a question in here? Someone said. Rex Green says nobody gets kudos. What's up, Rex? 1st and 10 from the 50. Keelan Russell in at quarterback. Takes a snap. Looks downfield. Fires a dart out to the. You know who I like? Fam, can we just type in 7 for Cole Adams? I like Cole Adams. He's dependable. Not a lot of flash. Cole Adams is good. Sports fans, what's up, man? Thanks for the super chat. It says, a 0 is a 0. Yes, love it. 42. Yeah. Cole Adams, right? He's good. He's just good. All right, 1st down for the tie. Keelan Russell. Hands off to A.K. Deer. Deer gets maybe 2. All right, so it looks like it's a 2nd and 7 on my broadcast. 4 wide. Ooh, I think we got some MG Cherwig up there. Kalen Russell steps up. He's going to use his legs. Makes a man miss. Flies into the air. Nearly lands on his head. Whoa, that was crazy, bro. You got a slide right there. Kalen Russell just went airborne. Man, yo, fam, he landed weird, right? Yo, I'm glad he's okay. Shoot. All right, hey, handoff to Richard Young. Richard Young gets 9. Okay, there's Richard Young. Man, we hadn't seen Richard Young in I don't know how long. So they played every single running back. Man, been a minute since we've seen Young, huh? Two wide receivers. You got Derek Meadows out on the field. Kalen Russell with a quick throw. Oh, he's looking for MG Cherwig again. Yo, that's who he threw a touchdown to against Louisiana Monroe. Now, that would be crazy because he's a walk-on wide receiver. I talk about 23, a few times. Incomplete pass. It's going to be 3rd and 6. Hey, what's up, Football 09? Do you think Coach KD would switch up quarterback in a close game? That's a good question. I ain't thought about that. Yeah, you got to. If things aren't going well, yeah. Kalen Russell, 4 wide receivers, back to pass. He connects with Marshall Pritchett. Yo, he's hit those freshman tight end today a couple times. Good throw right there. Marshall Pritchett, let's see. Let's look at the tight end production, fam. So far, I have Marshall Pritchett with 4 for 33. I have Caleb Edwards 1 for 30. So he's connected with 2 tight ends for 60 yards. I've been really big on Marshall Pritchett. I thought that he would be better than Edwards. I have Edwards as the better tight end. Maybe it doesn't matter. But both of them are really good, right? Hey, Dre Lively, what's up, man? I appreciate you. Thank you so much for the birthday shout-out, bro. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Blessings on blessings, bro. All right, you got 2 wide receivers up to the top. Kalen Russell fires it out to Pritchett. Pritchett, who just caught that pass for about 8 yards, he was, I think, coming out of high school. He's 6'6", 225 in high school. And I think, I'm not mistaken, I think he added close to 40 pounds. He dealt with a couple injuries in the springtime, but I want to say that Elijah Pritchett is like 260. Man in motion, you have 2 tight ends. This is a 12 personnel set. You got a walk-on wide receiver in the slot. And a handoff to Richard Young. And he gets 1 yard. Hey, thanks, Rocky Mag. Appreciate it. All right, so we got 8 minutes, and then we'll do some post-game right here on Bama Football on YouTube. And then I'm going to go down and eat some of that, some of my mom's green chili stew, all right? Oh, Joseph Ionada is down. That's the backup center for Bama. Or actually, the third. I think the starting center today was Gino Vandermark. And so Joseph Ionada is probably the third in at center. Okay, thanks, Bama Jeff. Pritchett is 248. Okay, so he added like 20-some pounds. Still impressive, right? Let me show you some stats real quick. There's literally nothing to see here from Eastern Illinois. Look at this. This is crazy. But on Bama's side, looking at the quarterbacks, and after the game, I'll show you this when it's completed. 11-16 Ty. I doubt we see him again. Russell, 7 of 9. You got Austin Mack, 4 of 4 for 34. Man, they really wanted to run the ball today. And I think they probably looked at this in terms of we need to just get the running game going and get a lot of these backs maybe into some sort of rhythm, right? But this is the most volume clearly that we have seen, right? Like that is a wide variety of running backs. They utilized every single running back today. And I think I'll give you my kind of takeaways looking at this chart, but I just want you to see that right now in terms of the volume. They ran the ball 41 times for 31 yards. And I want your feedback too, okay? From a receiver standpoint, here's the production. 11 different receivers for 22 receptions and, 259 yards? A lot of these guys are, some newer players, and I'll point them out, following the game. Like, you probably don't know a lot about Marshall Pritchett or Brody Dalton, 2 tight ends. Caleb Edwards, he plays a lot. I'm kind of surprised still about the production of 11, Rico Scott. I thought that Rico Scott would have more opportunities, this season. We're on a commercial, by the way. It is still 42-0. Keelan Russell trying to get something going for the Tide. 8 minutes to go. It's a 3rd and 1. And they get the first down. And you still got 7 minutes. It's 1st and goal. They're probably about to score a touchdown any second now. All right, touchdown, Richard Young. So Alabama gets to 49-0. And kind of updating that stat, the Tide has now ran the ball. The Tide has scored 7 rushing touchdowns. Is that right? I wonder if that's a record. Can someone look that up? Was that 43 times for 236 yards, 237 yards, and 7 touchdowns? Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot of yardage. That's a lot of touchdowns. That's a lot of running touchdowns. Maybe the criteria, the playoff committee was like, hey, you got to run for X amount to still be eligible for the playoffs. Oh, that's crazy. They're back on commercial, but it is 49-0, and we're in the 4th quarter. Alabama has rushed the ball 43 times. So why type this out, fam? Who are the top? Rank the 3 running backs on this team. So who are your 3? Like, just who's your 3? Give me your 3. Rank them 1, 2, and 3. Your running backs. I think, like, looking at this chart, I feel that. What's up, Bryce? How you doing? Does Kyle interact with the chat too much on this stream? Huh. I never thought about that. I guess the way that I interact with the chat is because if I didn't, I don't think a lot of people would be here. I think I try to interact with as many people as I can because I think that builds something that doesn't often exist, right? Like, I am not a celebrity at all. Like, I'm literally just a 42-year-old dad, right? But I do feel that if you were able to interact with your top, like if, like, I watched Chris Berman growing up, right? Stuart Scott, all the guys on ESPN. And I felt that if I could talk to those guys, like, how amazing would that be if they just recognized me? You know what I'm saying? Like, if they gave me a birthday shout out, or if, they knew where I lived. You know what I'm saying? And I feel it was really important for me to interact with, like, my fans of the show. So, like, Bryce, like, no offense, dog, but, like, if you called in, I would, like, learn about you. I would hype you up. You know what I'm saying? I'd be in your corner, 100%. That's just how I roll. But I appreciate the question. Nobody's ever asked me that before. Alex, what's up, man? Alex has it. Kevin, AK, and Daniel Hill. Okay, appreciate it. What's up, Rocky Mag? Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Hey, Sarah, thank you for the birthday wishes. Appreciate it. No, I don't know if necessarily there was, like, complaining. It's just nobody's ever asked me that. I was thinking about it. Football 09, thank you, bro. Appreciate it, man. Right? You know what I'm saying? Dirtbike, like, we grew up at the same time, like, watching Chris Berman. Imagine if, like, he had his own show and he was like, yo, Dirtbike, happy birthday, bro. I hope that you're having a great day. I think that'd be cool. But like I'm saying, like, I'm not a celebrity. Don't get it twisted. Like, I'm the same as you. I'm above nobody. And I'll go over the full stats and all that stuff following the game. 7:34 to play. Alabama leading 49-0. Man in motion for the Panthers. It's going to be handoff, and it just goes nowhere. I mean, I wish I had just had a soundboard, and I could just post that again and again and again, right? They have 30 yards of offense in this game. Bama has 500. Taylor, that's hilarious. Debbie, yes, this is it. Okay, so you know what? I always thought it'd be hilarious. Do you agree with me? That, like, someone, maybe early on in Coach Kalen DeBoer's career, or like even now, you get up by 49-0, maybe 50, if they score another touchdown, 56-0. And, like, before time is about to run out, what you do is somebody, like, radios to Kalen DeBoer to smash his headset, like, up 56-0, because that look like the game isn't over till it's over. And imagine his approval rating is super high now, but I'm just saying earlier in the career that would have been such a flex. You're up like 56-0 and you smash your headset into the ground. Hey, white boy Hubbard, we missed each other at Fort Worth last year. Man, what was I doing at the Fort Worth airport, man? Because I always fly into Love Field. Dude, Fort Worth is a big airport. Not as big as our Atlanta airport over here. I don't know what I was doing at Fort Worth. Probably on that train. All right, 2nd and 11 for Eastern Illinois. We got 6 minutes to play. Handoff up the middle and wrapped up. It's going to be 3rd down. All right, thanks, bro. I appreciate it, man. A lot of preparation goes into every single thing that I do, man. Kyle, you're getting to that unk status. Yo, I know, man. I'm excited. When I led my workout group this morning, I was telling stories, about, people in my life, people that I've lost, I get it. That unk status, that's cool with me. I love it. The more wisdom comes with it, right? All right, 3rd and 7 for Eastern Illinois. Hey, J-Mac, what's the score on that Oregon game? Hand off to the outside, and Eastern Illinois will punt. Let's see. I'll bring up the scores in just a second. Let's see what we got. Yeah, I haven't really paid. Okay, so we have Oregon. Ooh, interesting. Oregon 20, USC 14. We're in the second quarter. Okay. We'll keep tabs on that game during our post-game show. Oh, yeah, if they lost, that would be great for Alabama. There's a couple things that I think are going to really work out well for Bama when we start to talk about, more of the playoffs after this game and, after they take care of Auburn. But there's a couple things that I want to talk about. Ooh, nice little return right there by Dejon Lee. Yo, how about Mustard returning punts? Yo, look, I'm not going to lie. That looked nice. Yo, Mustard had the interception earlier in the game. Mustard's 6'5". Yo, some of these guys that are tall are fast, man. Like Austin Mack, I didn't expect him to be that fast. And then over here, Mustard nearly returned a kick or a punt. All right, trivia, fam. Who's the last player to return a punt for a touchdown? Your trivia question, your fourth quarter trivia question. Who is the last Alabama player to return a punt for a touchdown? Who's got it? Who's the quickest? Don't look it up. Please don't look it up. Use your brain. You ever test yourself? You're just sitting there. What's the name of that song? Ooh, there you go. Lance got it. All right, Lance is first. I think, hey, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't it Caleb Downs, right? Caleb Downs against Mercer. And the crazy thing about that is they had Kool-Aid McKinstry returning punts. And McKinstry, I don't know what happened, but he kind of lost it. Not mentally. He just wasn't feeling it. And so they put Caleb Downs back there. And I think it was on his first punt return. He took it to the house, right? Was it against Mercer? Man, I still remember things. I'm pretty sure it was Caleb Downs. I don't, Coach Kalen DeBoer following the game will provide an injury report and all this stuff. I haven't seen, the only person that I saw go down in this particular game was Joseph Ionita, right? Oh, yeah, and we definitely got out of kind of that first half blues. I think I was a little bit maybe even rattled myself after the first half, but I feel a lot better, about the second half. And we can talk about why in the postgame. So I posted on Facebook. Facebook's a hot place right now. And if you don't follow the Facebook channel, you should check it out. I post content on there as well. I posted the running back stats. Alabama has rushed 43 times for 237. And this is the feedback. Well, if we play 4 cupcake teams, we better have more rushing yards. They're playing a high school team. Please, it's Eastern Illinois. Riley and Deere look great today. Pathetic. Daniel Hill needs to be number 1 running back because of who we are playing. We'll be back to the 2 good old yards per rush versus Auburn. Yo, it's tough. Fans are mad. All right, so there's 4 minutes and 56 seconds before the game ends. And Lance is saying that Austin Mack is back in the house. All right, let's go, Austin. I like watching the other quarterbacks, just from a developmental standpoint. You know what I'm saying? Just I'm curious how these guys are doing, and they're coming along. All right, so it is 1st and 10 for the Tide. And it is going to be, there's a flag on the play. It's going to be -5 on the Tide. You know what? Also, fam, that I've noticed, the last 3 games, Alabama's really slimmed down on total penalties, right? They have 4 penalties in this game, but I think they had 1 against LSU, and they didn't have a lot of penalties against Oklahoma. That's actually a low-key good number, right? We don't talk about that often, but they've kind of slimmed down on the penalties. Austin Mack still calling out the signals for the Tide. Kind of rolls out to the right, throws an off balance. It's going to be completed to MJ Cherwig. Yo, that's a walk-on making you miss. And Bryce inside the comment box says this: do you think that USC would jump Bama with the win over Oregon? Or why is Riley's usage, playing time falling off? Yeah, good question, Bryce. What's up, bro? I don't think that USC would pass Bama. I don't. I think that, that's certainly a good factor. If USC is able to win that game, we'll kind of cover it during the post game. I don't know why Riley's, his carries kind of decreased there in kind of the meat of the season, but I am glad to see him get back into the rotation again. I think there's some, you could think of it different ways. You could be like, maybe he was injured. Maybe it was like grades or something like that. We have no idea. Maybe they just felt that those other running backs, were better suited during that point in time. But it was interesting to me as well that, like, Kevin Riley went from being, a frequent running back to, like, playing not at all. Kate Carruth comes in, another quarterback. I guess this is the fourth team quarterback who comes in. Number 16, Kate Carruth. Let's see, dog. Come on now. All right. Kate Carruth in at quarterback for the Tide. 4 minutes left. I think this is a walk-on quarterback. All right, he's going to take it up the middle. He gets to the outside, and he's going to get, 8 yards. Was it 10? All right, Kate Carruth in there. He's from Trustville. Is Gazana gain too? Yo, that was a gain of 10, actually. Okay, this is the guy I was talking to you about, John Gazaniga. Wait till they tell you how tall he is. This dude is massive. What is this? Is this the fifth team quarterback? Oh, yeah, he's 6'7". So Alabama's fifth quarterback in. 6'7", 252. That's a big dude. All right, it's going to be a handoff to A.K. Deer. Man, my phone won't even let me type in John Gazaniga. It's like it's never heard this before. Six, 7, 2. All right, Gazaniga hands it off to A.K. Deer. A.K. Deer with like a gain of 7. We're going to hit the 2-minute warning. And you got Gazaniga, the fifth quarterback on the Tide, and you have A.K. Deer. So let's see if the Tide can punch in one more. What did I ask? Okay, this is our last poll question. Okay, were we overacting? So the poll says, I'd ask this in the first half. Are we overreacting about Alabama's performance in the first half? And we said no. Okay, I kind of like in retrospect, I think that was kind of needed. I don't think that they played their best first half. But let me ask you, be honest with me. Just please be honest, okay? Have you seen an improvement? This is going to be a poll question from the run game today. Okay, answered 100%, okay? Have you seen an improvement from the run game today? I think that, hey, Adam, what's up, bro? We'll talk about it on postgame. Ty was 11 of 16, 147, 2 interceptions. I think when you look to the Alabama run game, step forward or step backwards. I think step forward, and I understand who they played. But one thing that I did see, and I'll talk about this more on post, but there was some different running backs that I felt just kind of got things going a little bit. Okay. Jam Miller still leading the team in rushing, right? 1162. But you did see a good kind of burst by Riley and A.K. Deer specifically. There's different running backs for different situations. These guys are fast. There's no way to put it. It's like when these guys are in, they look faster than the other guys. Now, can these guys protect in passing situations? I don't know. I mean, Eastern Illinois is not the team to assess that against. I think what we can assess from the running backs right now is like these guys are fast and they look shifty against Eastern Illinois. But how would these guys fare? And there's a reason that these guys aren't playing against Oklahoma or haven't played against SEC competition, right? Because if you can't pass protect as a running back, you're not going to play, period. But I think collectively, I leave here feeling better. But until I see it against SEC competition, you know, I still kind of feel about the run game as I did prior. Good stuff. I'm happy to see the other running backs, and I don't want to put this like in a negative way. It's just like we knew that they were going to do this against Eastern Illinois. All right, so we have 2nd and 4. I think we have John Gazaniga still at quarterback, and we have A.K. Deer. Little handoff. It's going to actually be like a keeper to the outside by John Gazaniga, who gets like 3 yards. And, yeah, you're going to face a 3rd down. Third and 3. And it's going to be a touchdown to A.K. Deer. A.K. Deer with another touchdown. That's his 2nd score of the day. Alabama is ran for 8 touchdowns today. All right. Now, 1 was a quarterback's 8 rushing touchdowns. That's crazy. We need to see if that's a record. Is that a record? 8 rushing touchdowns? Rushing TDs. That's crazy. A.K. Deer. Oh, man. That's wild. No matter who it's against, that is still a crazy number. All right, so A.K. Deer with his 2nd score. And I think that's his 3rd touchdown overall this season, right? Oh, 10's the record? Thanks, K1. I was wondering about that. I was like, what? 10 rushing touchdowns. That's crazy. And this is the only game, right, that they haven't scored on a passing touchdown. Not that it matters. It's just that's another maybe meaningless stat. Today, Alabama has run the ball 49 times for 269 yards. Terrence points out that Gazaniga is a walk-on freshman. You know, it was weird because I remember the story about John Gazaniga. We're talking about the 5th quarterback on the team. Coming out of high school, I think he's a 2025 guy. And he was recruited by a couple places, but he never went anywhere. Like, he didn't go anywhere. And so I think he's coming to Bama, like you said, as a walk-on, having never played anywhere, but being, like, I think he, like, sat out a year, basically. 1:15 before the final. I think, you know, some things that just jump out is, like, Bama's 539 to Eastern Illinois' 32 yards. The fact that Alabama scored on 8 rushing touchdowns. The fact that, you know what? Let me ask you this. Was the second half collectively better than the first? Hey, you know what? Todd points out Tucker Cornelius. You know, Tucker Cornelius went to Northridge, right, Todd? That's where my son goes. Northridge High School is just right down the road. You know what? Tucker Cornelius in high school was a beast. I'm telling you, this guy could kick, at least in high school, you know, 50-yard kicks. I'm telling you, Tucker Cornelius is good. I think I must be a walk-on kicker or a preferred walk-on or whatever. So we'll probably get out of here with a score of 56-0. Hey, thank you so much, Tonette. I appreciate the birthday wishes. They just put up a graphic on the screen, and it's a final score. So Alabama has just defeated Eastern Illinois by a score of 56-0. Yeah, the second half was way smoother of this game. Okay, we'll go into post right now. All right, welcome into the post-game show with Kyle Henderson, Bama Football on YouTube. I appreciate you all being here after Alabama's 56-0 victory over Eastern Illinois. I'm going to talk about the good. I'll highlight some question marks that we had, point out, maybe a little bit of bad in that first half. And now that Alabama is now 9-2 on the season. So those are the aspects that we'll talk about as the Crimson Tide today beat Eastern Illinois by a score of 56-0. Now 9-2 on the season. All right, so let's kind of look at the stats collectively, and we'll kind of navigate from there. And I think that we have to start up top with the quarterbacks, right? In the first half, Ty Simpson, who didn't play in the third or the fourth quarter, he was 11 of 16, 147 yards passing, and surprisingly, he had 2 interceptions in this game. Now, the first interception, I really didn't like. He threw it to a man kind of right in coverage. The guy jumped up and made the interception. It wasn't good. Okay, there was no way to this could have happened. No, it just wasn't a good pass. The second interception came on a very weird series where Alabama made some strange calls. They had a couple gadget plays. They threw it to Caden Proctor. They ran a fake reverse, and then they were trying to score to make it, I guess, 35-0, whatever, at halftime. So they have Ty Simpson throw a deep ball, and it was like a Hail Mary type situation, and it was intercepted. So that's how he threw another interception. So he kind of goes out, and a lot of people, and we were asking, has he regressed? I'll be 100% honest. I felt that Ty Simpson in the first half, he didn't seem like himself. He had a kind of a run off to the side that looked decent. He got tagged in the leg. He's lucky to not get hurt, to be honest. But I don't think this was his best performance, in my opinion. And I think a lot of people probably felt that way in the first half. So it wasn't his best game, 2 interceptions. He's still clearly the guy. You got an opportunity to see 2 other quarterbacks today with Kalen Russell coming in and Austin Mack. So I have to ask you, be honest with me, did you feel that the offense, and I'm not trying to start a quarterback competition, it's clearly Ty Simpson's team, but do you feel like that first series of offense under Austin Mack, that it ran very smooth, right? Things were rolling. It looked like it had fluidity. You had good movement you had good protection by the offensive line. You completed some passes. Your running backs looked good. It was a healthy drive that I felt satisfied on when they put a touchdown on the board with Austin Mack. He finishes out 5 of 5, 45 yards. And I think one of the bigger takeaways, too, with Austin Mack was the fact that he utilized his legs. I'd never seen Austin Mack really run, ever. And, he took off one time for 20 yards for a 20-yard touchdown. He looked nice running the ball. He didn't look exceptionally fast, but he looked fast enough, okay? He was fast enough. With Kalen Russell, he was 7-9, 78 yards, and they gave him an opportunity, like a 4th and 5, to, go for it, and he threw it incompletion. I said earlier, it's almost like it's hard to not romanticize about the way that he throws the ball. There's just something about it. Mack has the cannon, showcase his legs. Kalen Russell, there's just something about his delivery, or I don't know, it just comes off nice. He had 2 really nice completions to Caleb Edwards and to Marshall Pritchett, 2 tight ends who are clearly the future of the program. So it's like freshman to freshman. He utilized his legs a couple times, and if I was to ask you inside the comment box, Kalen Russell can run. That guy's fast. He looked fast, okay? He looked fast. So that's kind of the assessment about the quarterbacks. And you got to see Cade Carruth come in. He's the fourth, quarterback, and you got to see John Gazaniga come in, right? You played 5 quarterbacks today. That's kind of like highlighting the quarterbacks. And I think kind of ending on the quarterbacks, how would you assess the future of the Alabama quarterbacks inside the comment box on a scale of, 1 to 10? I'd have to say it's very high. And you're going to have one hell of a quarterback competition next year because Austin Mack, I think, can operate, and so can Keelan Russell. So competition makes everything better. Those guys are very, very talented. One of the biggest issues with Alabama football, even by the committee, was Alabama's lack of run game. Today, I felt that Alabama almost used this game kind of like a practice, a scrimmage, to try to get the running game going and to try to get maybe some fluidity, like just proving the fact that, like, they can run the ball. And they gave every single running back opportunities today, every single one on the team. So Jam, he had a nice long run at 24, 11 of 62, and he's kind of been like almost kind of the scapegoat of the running back room. Is it like him? Well, every single running back had better numbers today. And I think you equate that. You don't take away anything from the running backs, but you also have to understand who they're playing, right? It was Eastern Illinois. So what did we realistically see from the running backs? Well, I did see A.K. Deer. I did see Kevin Riley. I did see Richard Young. These guys got into the rotation. Now, specifically talking about A.K. Deer because, he's a hot topic. How did he look? He looked pretty good, to be honest. Is he ready to play against SEC competition? That I can't comment on that. That's something for Ryan Grubb. That's something for Coach Kalen DeBoer. But today, yeah, he looked the part against Eastern Illinois. He did. He looks fast as hell. Okay, he had 9 carries, 45, 2 touchdowns. He looks good. What'd you think about A.K. Deer? How would you assess him? Is he ready to go? Yeah. How would he fare against SEC? Who the hell knows? You can't even answer that. Kevin Riley, he looks really fast. Your 2 fastest running backs, it's clear to all of us, Kevin Riley and A.K. Deer. Those guys are faster than the other running backs. Now, can they pass protect? I hope so. That, maybe that's why they're not playing. I have no idea. You also have Jalen Washington come in, and I'm going to say he didn't even look bad. I thought he looked pretty fast. He had 5 for 23. Richard Young came in, 4 of 16. Collectively, this group, in total, Alabama ran the ball 49 times for 269 yards and ran for 8 scores. The running back room scored 7 touchdowns. One of those touchdowns was by Austin Mack. Now, Maroon Panther points out Eastern Illinois is one of the worst teams in America. I would probably agree. That team was terrible. I do want to point out something before I move away from the offense. I need to talk about the receivers too. But before I talk about the receivers, help me out. How do you feel about, I fully support Ryan Grubb, I think. But sometimes the play calling just doesn't make sense to me. I felt in that second half, I got really confused about what Alabama was trying to do from an identity standpoint. Like running a fake reverse, still throwing the ball out to Caden Proctor. And we talked about this back and forth is I felt sometimes you utilize gadget plays in like a do or die situation. Not in a game like against Eastern Illinois, or maybe like in the fourth quarter you do something silly with like John Gazaniga or something like that. Like, what were they doing during that drive? And I thought it wasted plays and it killed momentum. A lot of volume here for the wide receivers, and they got the ball out to a lot of guys. But I think what stands out to me is you got to realize that Josh Cuevas didn't play, and we don't know how severe his injury is. And that is something I'm going to be listening to on the postgame with Coach Kalen DeBoer. Jeremy Bernard didn't play. He'll be back in action. And Parker Brailsford didn't play, right? You had some young freshmen at tight end step up. You had Marshall Pritchett had 4 for 33. You had Caleb Edwards. I think he caught a long pass from Keelan Russell. You had Isaiah Horton had 2 for 29. Rico Scott had 1 for 11. Ryan Williams had 1 for 25. So 12 different receivers, 23 receptions, 270. Alabama clearly wanted to work on its running game, right? Right here, I mean, I've never seen more lopsided stats, and I think it just comes to, I don't want to take anything away from the defense because the defense has been constantly playing well since week 2 or week 3, whenever they kind of transformed into the defense that they are now. So let's give the defense kudos. And probably I saw Tim Keenan in the backfield more times than I've ever. He was a menace, okay? But this is crazy. Alabama had 539 yards to Eastern Illinois' 34. They only had 20 yards passing and 14 yards rushing. That's crazy. I've never even seen a game like this before. I did point out this stat right here, the penalties. Alabama has really slimmed down on the penalties in the last 3 games, right? They really have, and that should be noteworthy. Damn, this is crazy. 32 first downs to 2. That's wild. 8-11 on third downs. I get it. You're playing who you're playing. But somebody pointed this out inside the comment box. I didn't come up with this. I thought this was a great point. They said that Ryan Grubb calls really good play calls on third downs and even on fourth downs. I agree with that. I get it. The fourth down against Oklahoma that kind of lives up top, but I think he does call good plays on third downs. Total play, 79 of 39. Red zone, 8 of 10. Love that number. That's crazy. And your turnovers, right here, Alabama had 2. So for a consecutive week, Alabama loses the turnover game. Something to not be proud about, okay? Now, I have 2 stats, okay, that I have to go over with. I'm going to build a quick graphic and see if I could do this on the fly. Let's see, 2 stats. Let's see, 1, what is that, 11 of 18 kicking, and then 8 in last 5, okay? So these next 2 stats, I'm not necessarily worried about them, but I think we need to bring them up. So let's see if I can get to that real quick. Here we go. Okay. So these are 2 stats that I'll leave you with, and I'll come back and, put together, some videos from, what Coach Kalen DeBoer said, things like that. But here's 2 stats that really jump out to me. Alabama right now in its kicking game is 11 for 18. And to me, that's more than concerning. I have never seen a fan base boo a kicker. And Connor Talty was getting booed. He missed a 28-yard field goal today, which is unacceptable, okay? And I don't know, do you go with another kicker down the road? What do you do? They put in Peter Notaro, and he kicked a PAT, and that thing, he almost missed that. This last stat right here, maybe something to chew on, okay? Ty Simpson is responsible for 8 turnovers in the last 5 games. 8 turnovers in the last 5 games, okay? He has 5 fumbles and 3 interceptions. So that is a concerning number for our quarterback. Do you get, how do you get on track from that? And the way that I look at it is clearly, you're optimistic about the team, and they won 56-0. They're 9-2. You match, Coach Kalen DeBoer matches the same amount of wins that he had last year. But from a seeding committee standpoint, I think they have DeBoer and Alabama on such a microscope that these type of statistics stand out to them. How is your quarterback playing, right? Are you trending up or down? And I have to be honest, while I have confidence in Ty, he definitely seems like he's trending the opposite way. And the kicking game is a crucial part, right, of the game. So 2 areas that you could certainly, tighten up. But, we'll just have to see how it goes. But long story short, 9-1, 9-2 on the season. Oh, here's one more stat that I'll bring up before I bounce out, and then we'll come back. So give me just 1 second while I get this to myself, because I saw this on the TV broadcast. I thought it was worth bringing up. Let me bring this up in just a second on the other side. And in this particular graphic that I'm going to pull up, I want to ask you, I didn't ask them to bring this up. They brought it up. But it's Notre Dame versus Alabama. And this has also been kind of a hot topic that people have been talking about. And I have argued that Alabama has a far better resume than that of Notre Dame, right? And I think Notre Dame, they ended up winning. So I know mostly Alabama fans here, probably all Alabama fans here, but this is the statistic they brought up, kind of a college football resume. The wins against ranked opponents, it jumps out to me. I get it. Alabama played Eastern Illinois today, but they have beaten 4 consecutive ranked teams, and they took one on the chin against Oklahoma. It's like the NFL type schedule. And this strength of schedule right there is 4, Notre Dame's 29, right? I think, kind of in closing, the way that the committee views Alabama, I think they have them more under a microscope. I think that they are going to hold that first loss of the season against them. Florida State lost last night. They're now 5-6 to end their season. The more Florida State lost, it looked worse and worse for Bama. That's why I kind of bring up those other stats. It's like, I think they were nitpicking on Alabama a lot. And one thing that I found out is the losses by Alabama are more important than the wins that they had. You hear what I said? The losses that they had are more important than the wins that they had. So, like, Alabama beating Georgia at home is less than Alabama losing to unranked Florida State way back in week 1. That's how they're looking at things. So, fam, I'm going to get some green chili stew inside of me because my mom is here. And then I'm going to put up, some additional videos tonight. But solid victory. Now 9-2 on the season. And still control its own destiny. And we turn our page now to the Iron Bowl. And two things to look at with the Iron Bowl. Number 1, who will start at quarterback for Auburn? Will it be Deuce Knight? Will it be Ashton Jones? Will it be Jackson Arnold? Probably not him. And kind of the status of Josh Cuevas. And maybe Coach Kalen DeBoer has already provided an update on that. But I'll keep you posted as news happens because that's significant. We need Josh Cuevas to play. Thank you for kicking it with me today. Hey, Deseo, what's up, man? I appreciate it. Thanks for coming out to the workout today, by the way. Deseo, how was or is it the CEO, right? The CEO? How was the workout today, Deseo? On a scale of 1 to 10, did you have a good time? Yo, he came out. The CO came out today, and he came on my workout at 6 in the morning. He pulled up. CEO, yeah, the CEO. There you go. Did you have a good time? I put him through it, man. Okay, before you guys go, one more thing, all right? I'll show you guys this too. This was from this morning, all right? Get it. I have to scroll through some photos. All right, so this morning, it was at 6, our workout. As I told you guys, I'm a big believer in, mentorship and, men's health, women's health, all that stuff. But the guys came out to support me today. I had 20 guys come out for the workout. I'll show you real fast because it's important to me. And I'll give you a sneak peek on Monday of Lacey's performance. Lacey has been cast in Pepper. So we got a little taste of their performance today, and it was I was teared up in like 2 seconds. All right, here's this morning. All right. Oh, that's not it. 1 second, fam. And then I'll be back with Coach Kalen DeBoer, some excerpts from what he said following the game. But this was this morning in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, real fast. Here's the crew right here for F3 Tuscaloosa. Coming up in 3, 2, 1. All right, go full screen on that. All right, Yeah, so this is the crew. These guys came out. It was awesome. We had a really good time. My boys, we had 20 in total. We hit up, here at the Capstone, beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama. And the message today, I felt that there was, what better time to talk about kind of, Psalms 118:24, which reads, this is the day, that the Lord has made, and let us rejoice. And I think it's like every single day is such a blessing for us, right? So anyways, thanks for coming out. Thanks for kicking it with me right here on Bama Football on YouTube. I hope you guys had a good watch along. More content to come, but that mom's stew is calling my name. All right. So I appreciate y'all. Enjoy the dub. 9-2 on the season. Back as news happens right here on Bama Football on YouTube. I love you guys. See you next show.